waiting for Underground.
Okay, I'm still pulling it up. Oh, I got it now.
Yeah, I'm up on my thing. I'm just waiting for Underground. It's been a minute since I've done this from my phone. I actually like this better than on the laptop because I don't have as many things to worry about besides my headphones are in, so I'm not gonna get copyrighted. And because I reset for my phone and I use my phone email for my interview on Sunday, I won't have to use Restream. I can use StreamYard.
Oh, nice.
So I reset my trial, so this one will last me for a while.
Okay.
So I don't have too many other live streams scheduled this week unless because if we watch Man of Steel, one of these days.
We should watch Man of Steel on your day off.
Yeah, we can wait till Monday. I don't think I have anything going on this Monday. Besides going to class. I was Underground finally here. Underground.
Yo.
Ready to watch
What's
Man of Steel?
Huh?
Ready to watch Man of Steel? Oh, not Man of Steel.
Returns.
Superman Returns.
Yeah.
Hey, Brandon. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing, my friend?
Oh, and tomorrow I am gonna be busy. Yeah.
We won't watch Man of Steel tomorrow.
We're not watching Man of Steel till
Monday.
Boss.
Does Monday work for you?
Because Man of Steel will be our last live action movie.
Mm-hmm.
Because then we get to the fun stuff.
Yeah, the animated stuff.
That's good to hear, Brandon. All right, you guys ready? I'll do the countdown.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is gonna be nice because this movie is probably the new. Other than Man of Steel, this is probably the newer movie. So you actually get to watch a movie with some pretty decent graphics.
Yeah, because it's 2000.
I didn't tell you a story about this movie. Kenna was too young to know about this.
I was just a baby.
But when this movie came out, one of my favorite marketing items as a toy to have was they had like Silly Putty, but it was kryptonite that they used for this movie, and I was obsessed with it.
Oh, wow.
There was even this thing where it was, like one of those balls that's like the sticky and you like kind of have it on your hand like a yo-yo. I had one of those like made of kryptonite and stuff.
I didn't even have a conscious thought when this movie came out. So
yeah. This will be your first. Have you seen this before, Kenna?
Nope. Nope.
This is a great movie. So, fun little Easter egg for you. This is only one of Brandon Routh, who plays Superman in this movie's superhero roles.
Oh, he did.
After this movie, he goes on to play the Atom in the Arrowverse.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And the Atom is basically DC Ant-Man.
Oh,
And also, did you watch Chuck?
No, I did not watch Chuck.
If you watch Chuck, if you watch Chuck, then I recommend. He also played the villain in that, which is pretty cool. Ooh, Brandon just gave me an idea. Should Brandon Routh deserve a chance to play Superman again in his own spin-off show like Superman and Lois after being Superman Returns and Crisis on Infinite Earths? Ooh, I got a good idea. We might have one more live-action project to watch. I just came up with a brilliant idea.
Does this take place after Superman 2?
Well, they're saying that this movie retcons 3
and 4.
Oh, okay.
So there'll be some sort of tie-in. All right, so we're gonna watch this. I just wanted to answer Brandon's question. Brandon just gave me an idea. We're gonna do one more live-action project after Man of Steel before we get to the animated stuff.
Okay.
And I know Underground's gonna be a fan of this.
What happened?
Because it involves Superman.
Okay.
We're not gonna watch all the shows individually because we won't have time. But people who know the characters, we're gonna watch all of Crisis on Infinite Earths together.
Wait. Which version though? The Arrow?
Oh, I forgot about the animated one. I'm talking the Arrowverse version because I want Kenna to see Brandon Routh as Kingdom Come Superman, because that might be Henry Cavill in the future of DC. So
so So we are watching the Arrowverse.
Yes, because people might hate me for
Okay.
saying this, but
My
to me,
my
the Arrowverse version is, as much as I love DC animation, I felt the animated Crisis, even though people crap on CW, I think CW Crisis was better than animated Crisis. It might be a
Yeah,
hot,
true.
but it's epic seeing all your favorite icons from not just the Arrowverse, because it's Crisis. You see things from the old 90s Batmans. You see the Birds of Prey show. You see
Yeah,
just
from back
every,
in the days.
and it's iconic, Kenna. And you even get to see Kevin Conroy in live action as Bruce Wayne.
So the only downside is that I'm looking it up right now. I don't think Arrow, the TV show, is on HBO Max. It's not popping up.
I found a way to fix that.
Oh, okay.
I think it's on Netflix, and that's
It
why.
is on. It is on. Uh,
Netflix?
yes,
Yeah.
Okay.
it is on
We
Netflix.
all have Netflix, so that shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, okay. Hold on.
I know Underground has Netflix because he watches Cobra Kai. So
Yeah.
that will fix that then. That's
Okay.
not an issue.
Because it had every other show except for Arrow, so it was like, ooh.
And I believe, if I remember, remind me, Underground, I got to look at the order again. I did watch Flash that happened first, or is it Supergirl that happened first? No, it's Supergirl that happened first because of always someone said something interesting. Because Oliver, spoiler alert, we kind of do this. We have to watch Supergirl first because one of the things that Crisis toyed with my heartstrings, kind of. So I get a hot take. Thrown at me a lot. Is so at the same time as Infinity War and Endgame were coming out, Crisis came out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my hot take was that Oliver had a more heroic sacrifice than Tony Stark.
Oh, okay.
Because Tony only dies once.
Mm-hmm.
Oliver dies twice.
Mm-hmm.
But then the difference is Oliver's not unlike with Tony. Tony's dead unless you do time travel. Oliver isn't dead. His human body is dead.
Okay.
So like, you know how I talked about doing that spin-off? They could do that because they could pull Oliver as Spectre into the Phantom Zone. Okay. So Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Yeah, I'm a big fan of that movie, Brandon. All right, let's watch this, guys. Let's watch Superman Returns. But yeah, we're definitely doing Crisis. I think Kenna's gonna lose her mind when she watches Crisis.
Yeah.
Because it's awesome. Because you got to see, like, if you'll like Brandon Routh in this movie, I gotta say, the Arrowverse has a lot of like mediocre costumes, but holy shit, their Kingdom Come Superman. Oh my god, you're gonna lose it.
Oh, the countdown or
Yeah,
just
no, I'm
started?
not the Legendary Studios thing. 3, 2, 1. And this is Ken's first time watching this one.
Oh wow.
Well, all of them are my first time.
For all the Superman movies, yeah.
Yeah, except for technically Man of Steel. I've seen bits and pieces of it, but not the full thing.
You know, I always dread it when I gotta rewatch Man of Steel. I hate that because I love Henry Cavill, and it's sad that that's such a chore and a sin to watch, but it's just like it's so hard for me.
Well, it can't be worse than Superman 3, so.
It is a better movie than Superman 3. I love Superman as a character so much, and to see him not be treated right just bothers me. Like, I always tell people, Man of Steel is a good movie. It's not a good Superman movie.
Oh, I read a thing about Superman, the James Gunn, that the opening will have something similar to Star Wars,
Yeah,
and the end will be something right out of the animated cartoon.
yep. I can't wait. We're literally so close now, Kenna. It's been a long time since I've seen this movie. Have I not seen this movie since 2006? When Dad took me in theaters?
Just
I like how they start Krypton exploding in this movie. It's different than the other takes. They make it seem like it's a black hole at first. And all the shards of everything breaks off. That feels like a Star Wars intro. The legendary pictures as an association. That's pretty cool, Brandon. Still classic score. Did John Williams produce the music for this one too? Oh, this is a Bryan Singer film? Wait, so the guy that did the X-Men movies did this? Wow. I did not know that. Do you guys know this was
Now you know. I did not know that.
The Bryan Singer directed X-Men, X-Men 2, not 3, but I believe X-Men, Days of Future Past, and I think Days of Future Past was his last movie. Fun fact, did Superman Returns set in the same universe as Christopher Reeve's Superman movie, but it's after Superman 2? Yeah, I was hearing about that. Boo, Kevin Spacey.
Speaking of X-Men movies, a really long time ago, I didn't finish it, but I was gonna rewatch all the Fox X-Men movies, but in chronological order as you can do, and I only saw 3 of them out of the whatever 5 or 6.
Okay, 2 we could continue on that.
I just did it for fun, but like
I have the road cut version of Days of Future Past that a lot of people don't have.
I watched Wolverine Origins.
I'm sorry.
First Class, and I think another Wolverine film.
Did you hear what I said about when you said you watched Wolverine Origins? I said I'm sorry.
It's so the fun thing about trying to watch the Fox X-Men movies in chronological order, it's because you really can't, because they time jump a lot.
The problem with the X-Men movies that they did with Fox is they did not know their own continuity. Oh, someone else joining us? Oh, private chat. First Class is a good one. Yeah, it's a class.
Yeah, First Class was good. I really did like
that was
First Class.
The origin movie in that franchise.
I would probably say First Class and Logan are my favorite Fox X-Men films.
Logan is the best of the first. I would say I like Logan, First Class, and Days of Future Past are my favorites. But X2, other than killing Cyclops, will always have a special place in my heart. Because you introduce Colossus, you get what's it called? You get Iceman for the first time in that movie. So lots of good things. I also do really like the Wolverine. Yes, we did get Deadpool eventually. That is technically a Fox X-Men movie too.
I consider Deadpool to be in his own thing. I don't know. This is how it feels. All Pomeranians.
That's true. I've got a theory about Gunn's DCU. Drop it, Brandon. We'd love to hear theories here. Just 2 dogs on the edge of the bed. Yeah, throw it down, Brandon. We want to hear it. Go ahead, Brandon. We're waiting.
Oh, is this Lex?
I think so.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Yeah, there's one who's younger.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell because that looks like a young Kevin Spacey.
Well, I just felt the evil aura. So.
Well, that too. Yep, I know they did that when it was a fake wig. That scared the kid. It's funny. Kevin Spacey actually makes a good lesson considering how much of a piece of shit scumbag he is in real life. It was just sad because I found out about Kevin Spacey being a scumbag in one of the worst possible times. Because Baby Driver, which I really like that movie, and then whenever I see him, I can't stand him. Too bad because he was great in that movie. But he was also a piece of work in that movie too, so maybe his acting was reflecting his real persona.
I think he's washed up.
I thought it was a crypto Easter egg for a minute.
No, it's just another type of dog.
You see the dog laying down. He's just chilling.
Oh, so if I remember correctly from our phone call earlier, James Gunn is changing Clark's adoptive's mom name, or no?
I don't think so.
Oh, I thought you said something about that because I thought he was getting rid of how both him and Batman's moms are named Martha, so they don't repeat the Batman v Superman thing.
I think that's still the same thing, but I don't think they'll ever do the Martha thing to bring them together as a team. Oh, we got a question now. Okay. When the villain called the Anti-Monitor should be introduced in Gunn's live action villains like Galactus and MCU, Unicron, and Transformers, they won't touch Anti-Monitor till Crisis is on the table. He won't be relevant till Crisis. Yeah, I just think they're not going to do the Martha thing when they do World's Finest. But we'll know that both moms are named Martha, and that's okay. Because that's a common name. It happens. The problem is they capitalized on it. Oh, your name's Martha? My mom's name is Martha. So then they went, oh, okay. We should be friends.
I honestly don't. I think I will say I think Zack Snyder had something going with the whole Batman and Superman realizing that their moms have the same name, but also it's supposed to be like, oh, why are we fighting? We have people that we both love. I think it could have been. I think it could have been a good way for them to bond, but it just wasn't executed well.
Everyone focuses on the Martha thing. To me, I focused on like, okay, so Batman's realizing that Superman has humanity. That was my take of it. Because why would an alien have a mom, right? That was my take on it. But yeah, it could have been executed way better. Yeah, they're gonna save Anti-Monitor for a while, Brandon. McKenna will know more about Anti-Monitor when we watch Crisis. Because he's the Thanos of that big event. Because when Oliver becomes Spectre, he gets godlike powers, kind of. They give him, like, the Dragon Ball showdown with the Anti-Monitor. It's pretty crazy. You know how he always likes to say, you failed this city? He tells the Anti-Monitor, you failed this multiverse.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's his thing, right? Well, now he's researching rocks. Interesting. You know, I was really sad about the one news I was disappointed about in Superman is in this movie, even though she's in this movie. Did you guys hear it's confirmed that Nicholas Holtzwachs won't say to his henchman that he's dating Miss Tessmacher when he's yelling for her in the movie?
Yeah, I know.
I was kind of sad because I love that nostalgia. I just think that was an amazing part of the characters' connections.
I think it would be kind of out of character.
Yeah, it just won't.
Like Colt's version, I don't know.
It just can be different. Lauren Conan and Michael G. Jeffrey D. Morgan in a DC movie. Just a brief cameo. Yeah, when they were Martha and Thomas Wayne. I saw people say that if they ever do Flashpoint, since Keanu Reeves played voiced Batman in the animated movies, people say that they want to, since Thomas Wayne Batman uses guns, right? That we should get Keanu Reeves as Thomas Wayne Batman in the Flashpoint movie.
Oh, damn, that'd be cool.
What do you guys think about that?
That'd be cool.
Want to see John Wick Batman versus female Joker?
Oh my god.
The question is, do you bring back Lauren from Walking Dead to play Joker this time, or do you bring someone in new?
Someone new.
Yeah. I wonder, who would you pick for female Joker? Because the Flashpoint idea is that Martha doesn't die and becomes Joker instead.
Yeah, I know the Flashpoint. It's when Bruce gets shot and Thomas becomes Batman and Martha becomes the Joker.
Well, you know what they should do then? That just actually made me think. Because remember, even though we don't like the show, since they're so connected in real life, if you're going to have Thomas Wayne be played by Keanu Reeves, then you should have, what's her name from The Acolyte? That died in the first episode, but that was also in The Matrix, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think what her name is.
I know who you're talking about, though.
Trinity from The Matrix, but I can't think the actress's name. Those two should be Thomas and Martha Wayne. Is my anti-monitor theory good when he'll appear in the DCU? Yeah, it's a good theory. It will happen. Oh, I never found the fortress. I wonder if Underground remembered the name. Yes, that's the one. Carrie Ann Moss. Thank you, Underground. I think that would be cool because those two are connected in real life. Although now that I just saw another movie. Well, actually, you know what they should do? Since they just became new co-workers, they could do Amadeus, what's her face that might play Talia that was just the ballerina? She'd probably be good for the new Martha that plays Joker. Because now that they became fast friends through their filming of John Wick, they probably could establish something like that. Because they have good chemistry. But then again, I think Trinity probably would have been more age appropriate. Since they should probably be older as parents. Getting a little Jarrell voiceover. You know what's fun about Man of Steel that nobody remembers, Kenna?
What?
Did you know both Superman's fathers in Man of Steel both played versions of Robin Hood?
Oh, no, I did not know that.
Russell Crowe played Robin Hood, who plays Jarrell.
Mm.
The other actor, I can't remember, also played Robin Hood.
All I know from Man of Steel is that John Kent dies in a really stupid way.
Yes, people have issues with that. That was one of people's biggest issues with that film. Those are pretty stars. Even though they look like they're like the stars like you buy, like, oh, they are, okay. I was gonna say, it looked like they're ones on the ceiling like when you're a kid, right? And I thought those were the real stars. Like, oh, that's some bad effects. And then all of a sudden I saw it. I was like, oh, okay, I get it. Like, was I the only one that was going to say something about that, or did you guys notice that too? Did you guys think that was going to be real space?
Oh, no, I didn't think it was real space.
For a minute, it threw me for a loop, and I was like, okay, that better be stars on the ceiling. Did you guys see the news that Denis Villeneuve, who did Blade Runner 2049 and both Dune films, will be the next Bond director after Daniel Craig era? Yeah, man. I'm pretty happy about it. He's a brilliant director. If anyone could do anything different with Bond, he would. But I'm sorry, bro. If Timothy Chalamet starts getting cast as Bond, then we're going to have to talk. I would have let Katrina Law play. That would be cool. But here's the thing, Underground. Katrina Law played Nyssa in Arrow. It was
What? I thought she played as Talia.
no, Talia was played by what's her face, Lexi something.
Oh my God.
Because she
Yeah, sorry. I got it mixed up. I got mixed up.
was Oliver during season 7. Oh, that was crazy. Oh no. Yeah, because Katrina Law plays Nyssa. Because I didn't know about Nyssa. I forgot that Roz had 2 daughters until I saw Arrow. Like I was like, oh, I forgot about that in the comics. Because they always only use Talia. And I noticed that. I was like, oh. That's Talia. That's kind of wild. Yeah, I'm interested to see who they're going to pick for the new Bond, Brandon. Now that we have our director. I'm kind of bummed, though, because I really wanted, after Oppenheimer, I really was hoping Christopher Nolan was going to direct Bond. I mean, that would have been a great thing to cross off his list, considering he's one of my favorite directors of all time. Did you know that, Kendall, that Christopher Nolan's one of my favorite directors?
Yes.
Do you know what my favorite Christopher Nolan movie is?
I do not.
So it's a toss-up between 2 right now, which I think are his 2 newest ones. People would be like, what? It's not The Dark Knight? No, his Batman stuff is actually not the stuff I like.
I kind of forget that he even did Batman, so I wasn't even thinking.
I like both Tenet and which has Robert Pattinson and Denzel Washington's son. And I like Oppenheimer. I really like Oppenheimer.
Those are good picks.
I think Nani. Oh yeah, that's a good pick. What's she from?
She's been in a lot of stuff. She's been in Yellow Jackets, The Last of Us. She played in she was a character in season 1. She was that girl who was she was that woman who was trying to ruin or trying to get something from the brother and the little brother who's deaf, if you remember that episode.
You think she would have good chemistry with
I mean, sure, yeah. She's a really good actress. She's also married to I think she's married to the voice actor who voices Dipper from Gravity Falls.
Oh yeah.
Yellow Jackets. Yellow Jackets is kind of a scary show.
Yeah.
There's 3 seasons, but on Netflix there's only season 1 and 2 right now. But you can watch the 3rd somewhere elsewhere. It's a horror show, and it's about a girls' soccer team whose plane crashes into the wilderness, and they all have to survive, and they all kind of start going crazy. And then meanwhile that's happening, there's the teen timeline and the adult timeline. So you already see them as adults after the tragedy happens. So you're watching back and forth of the trauma happening and how they're dealing with the trauma afterwards.
Should Taron Egerton, who played Eggsy in Kingdom Secret Service, be a good person? I would love him to be the new Bond, Brandon. He's already basically played the ultimate spy, so why would you not play Bond? And he's at the right age where he's still pretty young. He could do that. But Taron is an amazing actor. Oh, yeah, that's pretty true, Kenna. I like this version of Jimmy. He's very energetic. And I like the bow tie. Suck it alone.
Welcome back, Lark.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you think Kevin should be Tim Drake?
Yeah, I think he's got the look. He's got the hair to be the older Tim Drake, like
Yeah,
Red Robin.
First people that said that Ella from Fallout should play.
Yeah, I also know Ella from Yellow Jackets.
Yeah.
She's in the show.
I like Smallville, Jimmy Olsen. Yeah, he's pretty good. I can see why they picked Brandon Ralph for this role because you can see that he looks like Christopher Reeves.
Do you, Joe, in the Flash show, do you remember a villain or antagonist called Ultraviolet, I think the name?
Yes.
So that actress, she's also in Yellow Jackets, and she's dating the Kevin guy. And I was thinking, instead, she could either return as Ultraviolet in the DCU, but I think she would also be a good pick to be Donna Troy.
That's interesting. They didn't do enough with Ultraviolet, so I'd like to see more of Ultraviolet in more of an assassin capacity.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't do enough with her. I like that character. I'd like to see it. She's a very obscure character, so I'd like her utilized in a better way.
Yeah.
Because the cool thing about Ultraviolet is they used her for the Flash, but really, she could have been anyone's opponent. Like, you could movie as an assassin, you could throw her in a Wildcat movie as an assassin. Like, you could do really anything with her. She doesn't have to have just ties to Flash.
No. Yeah, it would be cool if she came back to revise the role.
I like it. But I like your idea of the other, about Donna Troy as well.
Mm-hmm. I just picked Donna Troy if she weren't to return back as Ultraviolet, that's another character she could play.
I know we said we didn't want her to be Wonder Woman, but she's not that old anymore, and I really liked the Titans show. I really want the old Donna Troy back.
Mm.
Did you ever watch?
I only watched the first episode of season 1 with the Titans. I never got to continue it. But I do not mind if some of the cast comes back to play their roles in the film version.
One person I don't want to come back.
Okay, who?
I don't want Jason back.
Okay, you don't want Jason Todd back?
No, because I didn't like how they made him a whiny bitch as Red Hood. I still say it, I've said this before. I want yeah, they didn't do much with Stargirl Underground. I still gotta finish that show. I didn't like Jason because they made him a whiny bitch, and they gave him a good costume. But I don't know. I want Tanner Buchanan as a Red Hood, aka Robbie Keane from Cobra Kai. Also, you know what would be hilarious about that?
What?
Sholo, who plays Miguel, is already in the DCU, and Robbie and Miguel are known for fighting. So imagine, they're brothers, but then they're also enemies at first. So imagine you get Blue Beetle versus Red Hood.
Oh yeah,
it'd be pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like Sholo on a full with James Gunn, so he could probably say anybody he worked with in Cobra Kai, "Hey man, you should get this guy for the DCU."
Oh,
I don't know if this
you're doing it.
whatever happened with James Gunn or DC Could you imagine a Flash Speedster family animated film similar to? Yeah,
That would be cool
That's-
to see.
none of the same way. Spider-Verse. A lot of
Honestly, I
Flash-
think that'd be a really good start. What James Gunn should do, instead of just doing one Flash film about one Flash, he should just get it out the way and do all of them in one movie.
Well, a lot of people believe that when we start this new DCU, the first Flash we're gonna see is gonna be Wally, not Barry.
Yeah, I heard about that.
People think they're gonna do it like the like something they did in the Arrowverse, where Barry in season 3 vanished into the Speed Force and was gone for a long time. But unlike Flash, they needed Grant Gustin to come back. Where I think that Barry could just be trapped in there for probably a very long time. So I could see Wally getting trained by an older Barry in the Speed Force, and you want to see Devin as the new Katana Underground, but wouldn't you want someone that's actually Asian?
Yeah, if she's not Asian, she shouldn't play the character.
Asian, like the girl that played
Honestly, maybe just bring back the girl who was her in Suicide Squad.
yeah, she was good.
Yeah.
I like the girl in Arrow. She played her. I think she was also in the Wolverine. What was her name? She was also dating that. There's another version of her which she was dating. Forehead in Deadpool. What's her name? Yukio, I believe her name is.
Oh, wait. The Yukio, like in the Deadpool movies, the pink.
Yeah, but they're
Pinkie Pie girl.
Different actresses, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Yukio is the character, but in the Wolverine, Yukio has reddish hair, and then she played her in Arrow as well. I just can't think what her actual actress's name is. But she was perfect because her suit, no discredit to the Suicide Squad movie, but the katana in the Arrowverse was way better than the one in the DC.
Oh, how about Lucy Liu?
Ooh, she's at the right age where because Katana wouldn't have to be young, she could be older. Oh man, you know who would have made a great Katana? I wonder if James Gunn thought about this. I just thought of something crazy. I know everyone wants her for Huntress, but you know what my brain just thought about?
What?
What is it? Palm Clementine, who played she was just in Mission Impossible in a big action role, and she played an assassin, so she's already basically Katana.
Yeah, she could be Katana.
Hopefully James Gunn allows some of these Guardians actors to return for more than one role. Because I think in this movie, I think it's Superman, she's only voicing one of the robots, right?
Yeah, one of the robots. And so is another one. I can't remember his name.
Yeah. Is it Michael Rooker?
I think so, yes.
Then that'd be Yondu. And what's funny is I think Yondu has 2 roles in the DCU. Because I believe Yondu's going to play in Peacemaker Season 2 as well. But not a robot. He's going to play like a tribal leader that Peacemaker goes to meet from the trailer. In the new DC universe, because we see other identities as speedsters aside from Barry Allen, if he's stuck in the Speed Force like Wally West, Jay Garrick, Jesse Quick, Bart Allen, Flash's grandson, yeah, we could totally see that. I think that'd be great. There's a lot of Flash family members and characters that we didn't get to see utilized even in the Flash show. And that show went for 9 seasons, so that's embarrassing. Like, I would love to see Hot Pursuit, or what's another one another speedster they didn't use. We got Impulse.
What about
Wally? We're gonna get a new Wally because we're gonna see Wally as Flash instead of Kid Flash.
Gunn is gonna do Zoom?
I'm sure Gunn will do Zoom. We already have a great.
I really liked Zoom.
Ready? Rest in peace, Tony Todd. But Teddy Sears is still around, so they can even bring him back as the embodiment of Zoom. Because the twist in The Flash, I don't know if you knew this kind of, but did you know that they faked out everyone by telling everyone that we thought we were going to get Jay Garrick? And so what they did is Zoom pretended to be Jay Garrick. And then later season, we found out that the Flash from the 90s TV show was the actual Jay Garrick. So it's kind of funny how, like, the original Flash was the older Flash.
Yeah.
CW Arrowverse Flash show did a lot of different speedsters, but I wish they did more with Accelerator Man. Yeah, that was the base mystery in that show. That's like the Mephisto of the Flash show. Which is funny because we're going to get Mephisto next week in the MCU finally. It's crazy. Oh, it's a plane. Man, me working at the airport, this part of the movie makes me nervous. Thankfully, I'm not near any planes, but still. Oh, looks like it's more of a rocket ship. Yeah, those are good questions, Brandon. I'm trying to think. Hot Pursuit. There's another speedster I wanted to see. All I care about is that they cast, because The Boys will be over. I really want to see Anthony Starr, who plays Homelander, as Reverse Flash in the DCU.
Oh, that's good.
Especially because the Flash movie missed a big mark by not having Reverse Flash in it. Well, if you remember the Flash movie with Ezra Miller, the movie was already set up to have Reverse Flash, and they didn't have him in it whatsoever. Instead, they had the stupid, what's it called? The other version of, like, Barry, I guess, from another timeline. They could have at least done Savitar or Zoom or anyone else. I wonder if Tom Felton would come back as Dr. Alchemy. Because that's something you probably didn't know, Ken, in the Flash show. Draco Malfoy played a villain that knows magic called Dr. Alchemy.
Interesting.
He only came back for one season, but it still was interesting that he joined that. And people were giving him crap because when he first appeared in the show, his mortal enemy was Barry. And so people kept making memes that, wow, Draco Malfoy really doesn't like smart people with lightning bolts, does he?
Oh, I forgot. Off topic, but I was reading other articles and stuff, and I forgot that Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom broke up.
I was going to talk to you about that. That was interesting.
And I just want to say thank God.
Yeah, were they not a good couple?
Stay with this woman.
Oh, is Katy Perry crazy?
She was crazy.
Good singer, but I guess crazy person.
I mean, she's not crazy where she's like evil, but she was just being annoying.
Those were good villains, Underground. You know what would be? You know what? I'll be honest, Underground. I know people have said that like for Barry, people would be okay with Grant Gustin coming back as just regular Barry in the DCU. Yeah. I would have one of two things: either Grant Gustin coming as Jay Garrick, since we're gonna have metahumans already exist, or Grant Gustin just plays Savitar. Because the whole thing with Savitar is that he needs to be, like, from a future timeline, right? And it'd be Wally had to fight his mentor. You could still make it that it's Barry, right? But you do it where, like, it's a Barry that has completely, to quote what we always did memeing with Barry, is he fucked the timeline so much. If Zoom was reappeared through Christ Son of an Earth movie in Gunn's universe with Teddy Sears as the face, would it be cool if Keith David the voice, since he knows how to play the villain? Yeah, that would be cool. Keith David's a good choice for the voice since Tony Todd is gone. He'd be a good replacement. That's the thing. Teddy Sears is a good actor, whenever Zoom talked, they needed a menacing voice, so they had Tony Todd, who voiced Venom in the Insomniac Spider-Man game, voice Zoom. But unfortunately, he passed away right before the last. That's a scary feeling. What is it with superhero movies and always showing so much damage to planes? Iron Man 3. Zoom is like DC equivalent of Darth Vader. That's a good comparison. You know what would be really cool, speaking of Darth Vader, Brandon? Since they don't have James Earl Jones anymore, if you watch Arrow Season 5, there's a scene where there's a voice actor for Prometheus that is actually like sounds like they're doing a spot on James Earl Jones impression. I definitely want to see Prometheus as a Justice League villain in the DCU. We saw him as a Green Arrow villain, but we need, like, in the comics, Prometheus is a Justice League villain, and he beats the entire Justice League and cuts off Oliver's arm. Did you know that, Kenna?
Oh, no.
And he also was more of a Batman villain in the comics than a Green Arrow villain. Like, he hates Batman's guts.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, he cut off Green Arrow's arm. Probably because he pissed him off. I gotta rescue the plane. Yeah, I just thought about that, Brandon. I meant to do a villain about Prometheus in the DCU. I'll be honest, I know he played the comic book version and not the Arrowverse version, but I want, even especially since he had to be in a horrible show called She-Hulk in the MCU, I think they should bring back Josh Segarra. Josh Segarra was the original actor for Prometheus, but unfortunately he had to be in She-Hulk as one of the lawyers. So for redemption, they should let him come back as comic book Prometheus. Because they were flipping the script on things where, so in Peacemaker, Adrian Chase is Vigilante, right? So one of my favorite characters, I like you changed your picture, Underground. One of my favorite, I love it when he saves the plane. That's so cool. In the Arrowverse, there's a scene where they introduce Vigilante, and everybody thought that they knew that Vigilante was was supposed to be Adrian Chase, just like in the comics, right? But the Arrowverse writers wanted to flip the script, like Hawk says. And you know what they did? While facing off with each other on a rooftop, you found out that Prometheus was actually Adrian Chase. And Vigilante was someone else. But then now the DC Extended Universe and now the DCU, our main Earth Vigilante is Vigilante.
Mm.
So I thought it was an interesting twist that we saw a different version who's supposed to be Vigilante's main alter ego. It'd be interesting, though, because in the Justice League cartoon, since we can probably explore the multiverse in many different Earths, I'd like to see a different version of Prometheus. No, not Prometheus. Adrian Chase, Vigilante. Because in the Justice League cartoon, I think Vigilante was literally like an actual like cowboy vigilante. Yo, Adrian Chase made Oliver's life hell. That rivalry was insane. Literally the best villain in all of the Arrowverse, in my opinion, Underground. Josh Segarra comes back as DCU Prometheus. He'll be a better villain than anyone else in the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. I don't care what RDJ does with Doom. He's not touching Prometheus. But he had the best lines in that show, Kenny. He was on Borderland Joker, but if Joker could fight Batman toe-to-toe, right?
Yeah.
He was Oliver's Joker. Like, imagine Joker using a sword and a bow, and like Arrows. It's funny because did you know in the later Scream movies that Josh Segarra played one of the boyfriends in one of the later Scream movies?
No, I did not know.
So it's funny because I laughed when he cameoed in one of those movies because when they first introduced him as Prometheus, you know what the first thing that Prometheus did to get Oliver's attention? Is he wore a scary mask and took up the name the Throwing Star Killer,
Oh.
meaning they're trying to do a little play on Scream, but better done. But instead of a knife, he was throwing like ninja stars.
Oh.
But Prometheus would always I always loved the scene when Prometheus was messing with Oliver in person as just Adrian Chase instead of Prometheus, and he would say, and he's like, "It's over, hello Oliver, 10 steps, come on Oliver, it's 10 steps ahead. You don't even know what game we're playing yet." Like he'd just be so crazy, and the way he said hello Oliver, and he got Oliver to admit, to Adrian, like, because Oliver used to murder people, right? And so he used to say, like, he held a grudge against. He's like, so Oliver, why you didn't have to kill people? Why did you kill them? And he said, I wanted to, and I liked it. Like he's just crazy, man. He just got in Oliver's head, and it was awesome. But yeah, they got to bring Prometheus back, man. Josh Segarra's Prometheus is too good. You know what else would be even more full circle, though? You know who they really wasted in the Arrowverse Underground?
Huh.
They need to bring back Dante to the DCU.
Yo, they really do, honestly.
Bro, I was so mad in Arrow Season 7 because I thought Dante was going to be a better villain than Ra's al Ghul before they did that stupid twist with Emiko.
Yeah.
Because, dude, the way he was fighting Oliver, dude, with the knives and stuff, and you know what's cool about that? You know how they're doing this new movie with Henry Cavill and Russell Crowe?
Yeah.
Did you know that Dante was played by the original Highlander?
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
dude. Like when he jumped off that building, I was like, "Yep, this man's a beast with swords. There can only be one." Bro, if I ever get to be a DC villain in a fan film, just give me a suit and tie and let me play Dante. I don't need a super suit. I just want to throw knives and look fucking cool. Like that's all it takes. I actually can look like him too, which is pretty cool. Like his hair is the same way as me. Where's my super suit? I knew you were gonna say that Underground. I should have seen that coming a mile away, bro. Hot take, guys. I'm not a fan of this Lois Lane. Think she's one of the weaker versions of the character.
Yeah. 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 I am not a fan either, honestly.
Kind of gives me Padme vibes. And that's not a knock on Padme. It's just a similarity. She also kind of gives me, and I can't believe I'm going to say this because I bet this actress is better than her. She kind of gives me like Kristen Stewart heebie-jeebies like Twilight days. You know what I mean? Like she has kind of that bland energy.
Yeah.
Oh my god, James Marsden! I love James Marsden.
Oh, is he in this?
Yes, he's the.
Oh, that's him. Oh, he's holding the.
Oh my god! Movie automatic 10 out of 10 for me. Anything that James Marsden's in,
Yeah.
I'm liking it.
The only thing that I would lower my score for is because I don't like this Lois.
I don't care. James Marsden is in this.
Oh yeah, I agree, man. I love that James is in. I didn't realize that. I think that's crazy.
Okay, I will will say that I don't like the subplot that she's dating this single dad. I don't get why.
There must be a reason why they're having that Clark's not with her. Maybe Clark's going to get set up with a different love interest. When I was young, I wasn't a fan. I wasn't focused on the relationship, so I don't remember.
I just find it weird, and I feel bad for James. He's always playing the dude that loses the girl in the end, and I'm just like, let him win one time.
Well, I heard Gene's coming back in Doomsday, so maybe he.
Well, technically, he did get a win in Enchanted, even though he lost Giselle, played by Amy Adams. He did get to marry Natalie, played by Idina Menzel, so he won in that.
I liked their little.
I like their relationship too, but yeah, really hoping they fix Cyclops and Jean's relationship.
It could, since she's coming back and it's the original Jean.
Mm-hmm.
If they finally do the Phoenix Force right, maybe she can actually control her powers.
Yeah.
And they get together again. Ooh, that just made me a thought. Imagine we get Madeline Pryor in Doomsday. Oh, dude, it'd be so good.
That would be cool.
Who should play the next Adam and Gunn's DC universe? If he's either original Ray Palmer or second Ryan Choi. If it's Ryan Choi, it should be someone Asian. I have a couple names actually for that one. If it's Ray Palmer, I'd be okay if Brandon Routh came back to play the Atom on the big screen. Why not? We already got Ant-Man movies. Why can't we get Atom movies? Hot take. Atom is way cooler than Ant-Man. Because Ant-Man can only shrink down to the size of ants. The Atom can shrink down to the size of an atom.
Which is smaller.
I mean, do you know how small an atom is? Also, do you know how many times people played the Atom in Injustice and whooped my ass? Like that, the Atom is crazy. But Ryan Choi, if it was Ryan Choi Atom, I'm trying to think Asian actors that would be good for it. Because they gotta be someone smart. They can play intelligent characters. You know, I would throw a wild one out here, especially because he's kind of popular right now. And he just in a Marvel movie, so it'd be funny if he was in DC. Short Round, the guy from Everything All at Once.
Oh yeah,
would be pretty good. Oh yeah, and I wouldn't mind Ken or Randall Park. Randall Park played that one agent from what's it called? WandaVision. He'd be good. Be good, Ryan Choi, Adam.
What about Steven Yeun for Ryan Choi?
Well, yeah. I mean, they're trying to get him a role in Marvel. Maybe he plays a role for DC instead.
Yeah.
I still think Steven Yeun has a chance to be Mr. Negative, though.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
If we're getting Mr. Negative in Brand New Day, he's on the list. He's not my number one pick, but I wouldn't mind if he got cast.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear rumors that the guy that actually voiced Mr. Negative in Insomniac Spider-Man actually wants the role?
I did not know that.
That he can actually do it, like he looks like the actual character he voices.
Mm-hmm.
And can actually fight.
That's cool. They should pick him.
I want. Did you see the not the older one, but did you see the newer Tomb Raider movie that came out a few years ago?
No.
There's a guy in that movie that was also in this show called Into the Badlands. And the character's name was Sonny. And in that all he did in that show, all he did was do martial arts and slice people up with a katana. So to me, that sounds like Mr. Negative.
Mm.
But also, this would be a win, and if Marvel did this, I would be incredibly shocked, considering they just didn't. Since this is done by the director of Shang-Chi, I don't know if he has time for this because he's getting up there in age. But you know, it'd be a crazy Mr. Negative casting.
Who?
Donnie Yen,
Mm.
who's in John Wick and wields a katana, and is going to get his own spin-off movie. And also, you know, the guy from Rogue One that's blind and says your foot's all right.
Mhm.
Do you imagine?
That would be good.
Like, they messed up Scott Adkins. Imagine they actually able, with Justin Daniel Crenton, they were actually able to make Donnie Yen so badass as Mr. Negative. That'd be cool. I would like to see the original actor for the voice actor actually get to play it. And I think
Okay, so I'm understanding the relationship between Richard and Lois. So Superman's been Superman for a while, and they've already met. And it seems that Superman and Lois did have a relationship, but they didn't continue further on that, so they broke up, and that's why she's with James Marsden character instead.
that makes sense.
I just feel bad for both of them.
Yeah, that makes sense, Brandon. That shot is fucking cinema.
That's good.
Are you seeing that shot where he's above the earth with the eyes closed?
Mhm.
This scene right here is why the word aura was created.
Mhm.
Like, the way he is literally looking at and he's listening to everything with his super hearing.
Mhm.
And he's opening his eyes because he hears trouble. Aura, bro. Fucking aura. Can you believe in under 2 weeks we'll be watching Superman, Kenna?
I know, right? So excited.
It's crazy. We'll be among some of the first people to see this movie, other than these early screeners. But we have an early screening too, so it's all good. I thought the Punisher was in a DC movie for a minute. He had the vest. I was like, dang, is that Thomas Jane? Nah. You know who's another good Reverse Flash casting I've been thinking about lately? If we couldn't get Anthony Starr and he's just done playing comic book villains?
What?
The guy that plays Bullseye in the MCU and that also played in Netflix.
Mm.
He looks like the main human alter ego of Reverse Flash. And, you know, he played a damn good Bullseye. Imagine him as Reverse Flash. I think that'd be pretty cool. Now he's acting like Punisher. He's pulling a judge, jury, executioner. Little Marvel Rivals joke for you guys. Oh, also, Jake gifted me a skin today, Kenna. I got the Born Again Punisher skin at 9 o'clock. He surprised me with it because that just came out today. Oh, I know what they're going to do. They're going to do the Superman catches the bullets thing right as the minigun's slowing. Oh, that's freaking cool. All of them going in slow-mo. Hey, Zack Snyder, maybe you should take some notes. Speaking of Superman, did you know there was a Superman Returns game that came out PS2? I think I played it, Brandon. Okay, that might be the best Superman stopping a bullet scene I've seen in a long time. I love the shot where it hits the eyes. Cinema. Oh, I love. Are you talking about Karen Monahan from? Oh, I love that Joker. Karen Monahan played both versions of that Joker. It just sucks that Gotham wasn't allowed to call him the Joker, because if he played him, you know what? I'm gonna say something wild. If James Gunn wants to bring if Disney fails giving us Cal Kestis in live action, then Cameron Monaghan should come and play the real Joker for the DCU. Because he's not that young and he's also not that old, so you could make it believable that he plays the real Joker.
Oh, Joey, you liked my Instagram note?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, they fly now.
I saw that. I was wondering what brought up that random thought. How was the Superman Returns game since you played it? Honestly, I know they say there's not very many good Superman games. That was one I remember very much enjoying. If I could get a PS2 again, I would play that game. Look, I know we don't have a Superman game like on the Arkham levels, which I wish we would have one. Like if Rocksteady wants to get redemption for what they did with Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, make a fucking Superman game, bro. I want to see it, man. I want to see a good Superman game in my lifetime. They fly down. See why I said that, Kenna?
Huh?
I said they fly down when the car.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear it the first time. They fly now?
Yeah.
I just keep getting that all over my feed. Like it's become a meme now.
And Injustice did get Superman moves like the comics. Yeah, man. Injustice. I love hot take. I love playing Superman in Injustice. It is fun to just pick someone up and throw them into the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Dang. Calm down, man. You're basically spreading your legs for him. Like with the world. She's just terrified. Is that meant to be this movie's version of Miss Tessmacher?
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured, because I knew she was with Lex Luthor earlier in the movie. Because they're trying to rob the bank. Oh no, they're trying to get the museum, right? They're trying to get the mineral. So this whole plan is to get the kryptonite. This museum needs better security.
Yeah.
Like, I know Lex Luthor is a super criminal, but come on. And that didn't take them long to get it. Dang. It's a lot of stuff. What if Cameron Monaghan played... Ooh. You think he'd be the right age for what they would be doing? I'd be down for that. You think he'd be up for playing Wally? That's a casting I haven't thought of, Brandon. That's a good take. He is a natural ginger, and Wally should be a ginger. That was one of the biggest mistakes the Flash show made. I don't mind when you damn Joe, that's called murder in 100-degree, wearing picking up someone and throwing them into the sun. Really, Underground? I see your joke. That's funny. That would be honest, because one of my things in the Flash they made a mistake on was making both Iris and Wally, making them both not be gingers. in the Flash show was a mistake. Instead, making them be African, and not because it was bad that they were African, they were doing something different. Just that it's not comic book accurate. To be fair, though, Barry's supposed to have blonde hair, and Barry wasn't blonde in the Flash show. I hope if Grant.
Oh, they mentioned Gotham.
What'd you say?
They mentioned Gotham on the news.
Yeah, well, I think there was something, if I remember correctly, based on the timeline of Superman Returns, when this movie came out, I think I think Batman Begins was about to come out too. So this is what I mean about if DC had better people working with their stuff,
we could have had a connected universe already.
They would have gotten their universe before Marvel got theirs, because this would have been their second attempt. Because me and Underground were watching Batman and Robin Batman Forever the other day, right? And there's a line where Batman's talking to Robin, and he says, "This is why Superman works alone." And so that would have been insinuated that you could have had either Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, George Clooney would have met Christopher Reeve's Superman, one of those Batman actors. But if they were going to do crossovers with this timeline, you would have had Brandon Routh meet Christian Bale. But fun fact for you guys: did you know that Christian Bale was supposed to appear in Smallville?
I did not know that.
They wanted to have
Batman.
Wow. For some reason.
I didn't know that either.
Well, remember, they were building the Justice League in that show, so you can't have a Justice League without Batman. So they were planning on it, and I forget if it was him that said no or if Christopher Nolan's like, absolutely not. Because Christopher Nolan was the first person to make the stupid Batman has to be grounded argument.
Yeah.
Because much as I love him as a director, man does not understand comics. You didn't know that, Brandon? Really? I wonder if I have an article that talks about that. I should do a video on that one of these days. Just like, you guys remember when Christian Bale was almost going to be in Smallville? That would have been a hell of a cameo. Can you imagine watching Smallville back then and not seeing any major celebrity cameos other than TV actors, and you see Christian Bale pop up on your TV?
That would have been crazy to see Christian Bale as back as Batman.
Hey, Clark, I'm Batman. I do a pretty good Christian Bale Batman voice. No, Clark, this isn't a car. Lex listening to classical music. I did like Christopher Reeves had a small cameo with Tom Welling in Smallville. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I might continue my own personal binge of Smallville on my downtime as we get ready for Superman. Because it's such a good show, honestly. There's a lot of versions of Perry White I'm noticing. You're not wrong, man. I find it funny that the character's called Perry White, and only some of the iterations is he actually white. Like in the DCU, he's going to be black, and then in the DC Extended Universe, he was also black. And I believe in the My Adventures of Superman, he's also black.
And on Smallville, he's white.
Yeah, that's funny.
His last name.
In other like Lawrence Fishburne's version of the character in in the DC Extended Universe? Water. Wet. I loved when he said that in that movie. That made me laugh. That's one of the only jokes in an entire DC Extended Universe movie. You know what's funny about James Marsden in this movie, even funnier at this time, Kenna?
What?
This is coming out in 2006.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these came out in the early 2000s. Funny about that is it's funny that I wonder if there's a joke in here somewhere where Superman uses heat vision and Cyclops is like, I understood that reference. Oh, her stuff from her purse just drops. It's just a sad thing to have happen. Alexa, set an alarm for 8 a.m.
Alarm set for 8 a.m.
Dang, I didn't realize it was that loud. When Batman appears in the DCU, do you think James Gunn will ever show Batman's other vehicles aside from the Batmobile, like Batboat and Batplane? Well, here's the answer to that question. If you're getting the Bat family together, I'm assuming all his vehicles will be present. Because that car only fits 2 people. And because he's the youngest, I assume that only Bruce and Damian can use the Batmobile. What are your thoughts, Kenna?
I think the Batmobile can fit more than 2 people, because isn't there usually a back seat anyways? Because sometimes he puts the...
Yeah, puts criminals in there, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it could fit multiple people. But the Bat family's so massive, it couldn't fit more than...
Oh, no, it couldn't fit more than, like, 5 people.
Yeah, and there's...
Here's the thing is, like, Robin usually has his own bike, too.
And Batgirl had her own bike before.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe also Batwoman had her own bike.
Oh, they're doing callback to the cigarette scene in the first Christopher Reeves movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they'll get together vehicles on Brandon. Because he'll be an experienced Batman that has multiple vehicles, probably multiple reasons.
I don't really like the Superman's costume.
It was a response to the time. Underground? Really? Underground said, Robin, I want a car. Chicks dig the car. Batman, this is why Superman works alone.
Mm-hmm.
You had to remind me of that George Clooney line, didn't you, Underground?
Sorry, I had to.
It
was funny.
That boat deserves to have some attention too. Well, if we have a villain that we have to confront on water, it's possible. Well, think about it this way: we might not have to wait too long to see it in the DCU. Because something I just thought about, Brandon, is if Mr. Freeze is the villain in the Batman 2, in the Matt Reeves universe, Pattinson might need to use the Batboat.
I still think about Bat Cow.
Really?
Fat cow.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of Matt Reeves, I saw something on Instagram I wanted to bring your guys' attention. It was pretty big. Did you guys see that the actress that was one of the finalists for Catwoman before Zoe Kravitz got cast started following Matt Reeves on Instagram?
I did not see that.
And you know why I think that's interesting?
Why?
Even though she didn't get picked for Catwoman in Matt Reeves' universe, Matt Reeves is now specifically working for James Gunn, not just in his universe.
Oh.
So he might be trying to cast Catwoman for James Gunn in the DCU.
Mm.
Because they did say there would be multiple different versions of the same rogue gallery with different actors in both.
Yeah. Oh, so she could be the Gunn's Catwoman.
Yeah, maybe. Because she didn't work out in one universe doesn't mean she couldn't work out in another.
Mm-hmm.
Because they chose Kravitz because she had good chemistry with Patson. I'm sure the other actress would have been great. I think just it came down to, just like the Superman and Lois thing, I think it comes down to the pair together.
Mm-hmm.
There's a pretty cool scene of them flying together. That would have been cool. Or Batman might fight Killer Croc in Batboat. That'd be cool. If we're getting Killer Croc, I only want Killer Croc in the DCU because I don't want to see that embarrassing Killer Croc that we got in Suicide Squad. If Killer Croc isn't a hulking monster, then I don't want it. Like, you guys seen Arkham Killer Croc? Bro looked like him and Hulk bought pants at the same store
Oh no.
because they both had purple pants.
Ooh, yeah. Not a good look.
Yeah, man. No, I love Killer Croc. Though. I want the real Killer Croc. Legit Killer Croc, bro. Super giant monster. Crazy teeth. I remember the Arkham Asylum used to scare the shit out of me because I would be in the sewer and Killer Croc would try and eat me. It used to scare the shit out of me. I couldn't play Arkham Asylum late at night, otherwise it'd scare the shit out of me. So I'm chilling, minding my own business. Oh, there's a giant Killer Croc. Crikey, man. A gator got me. Yeah, Killer Croc be dope. Swamp Thing versus Killer Croc. There's a matchup. I don't know if Swamp Thing wants to fight the Croc, man. I don't think he'd win that fight. Do you guys know something crazy? You know, everyone says that the most iconic villains in the Batman mythos are always people's favorites Batman villains. So everyone always thinks of Joker and Batman as the most iconic villains, right? Or rivalry. My favorite Batman villain of all time as a Batman villain is Killer Croc.
Yeah, he's a good pick.
I think when I was younger, I was obsessed with him because I loved crocodiles as animals.
Mm-hmm.
You have a monster. Let's see. If Killer Croc ever appears and gets a good live-action redemption appearance in the DCU, he should be CGI character like King Shark in Suicide Squad. Definitely. Because they got to do him justice.
Do you think Dave Bautista could play a good Killer Croc?
Batista?
Mm-hmm.
He's not as big anymore, but if you bulked up, maybe.
Well, they're going to CGI him anyways.
Yeah, that's true. It wouldn't matter. But if we're going to CGI anyone, we could use really anyone for that.
That too.
We just want someone that's going to be menacing.
I was just thinking he could do the voice good, you know?
You think you do a good voice?
Mm-hmm.
I want Batista as, since everyone always treats him as the comedic actor, you know who I want to see Dave Bautista play?
Who?
And Bane. You know who my pick for Batista is?
Who?
I want him as Hugo Strange.
Oh.
Like him running Arkham, like in the Arkham games. Because it'd be weird to see Dave Batista play the serious, maniacal, like, terrifying villain.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone, because that would be gun flipping on his head, right? Because everyone expects these Guardians actors to be funny. Imagine one of the most serious threats in the DCU.
Mm-hmm.
Be pretty cool.
Be cool.
You were laughing when he played Drax Underground. I still think, and people might disagree with this, I still think because they want Bane to be massive, I still think with James Gunn having connections and pull on anyone can play a DC role that he wants, I still think there's a chance that that James Gunn still makes Batista Bane if he wants it.
Mm.
I don't know why. I just feel like if Dave Batista wants a role, James Gunn will give it to him. Andy Serkis would be great and as voice of Killer Croc since he is menacing as CGI villains. Well, he's already in the Matt Reeves universe, so why not? I wouldn't be against that. I kind of like the idea of what you said for Zoom. I kind of think Keith David would be good. I kind of want someone that's kind of got a really menacing voice. Maybe someone that's even I'm trying to think of another actor I would pick. Yeah, definitely someone menacing. I think Keith David would be a good pick, like you said, with Zoom. I think it's funny that people are already cracking Black Noir jokes about Ultraman and Superman because he looks like Black Noir. But I think James Gunn's smart, and I think he did that deliberately to hide his identity. I feel like Ultraman's gonna be the new Snoke theories, but in the good way. Remember doing the Secret Trilogy of Star Wars, and everyone and Ryan Johnson kept saying your Snoke theories suck.
Yeah.
And he turned out being nothing. I feel like we'll have really good theories for Ultraman, and either it will satisfy people or it won't. But it will be better than Snoke, obviously, because it's James Gunn. What's up, Underground? Or not Underground, Chosen, what's up? Yo, Void, we're watching Superman. I don't know if Sentry's around, but you should tell him he's kind of in trouble. I don't know if we ever had that debate. Who do you guys think wins, Superman or Sentry in a fight? I heard Squid Games season 2 came out, or season 3.
Oh yeah, I gotta finish watching season 2 because I want to see because it's the final season.
Like, we gotta have a reason to watch Batman Returns. We're gonna do that once we get our DCU Batman. Don't worry, it's coming, Underground. Gotta wait for a reason to get into our Batman films. Once the new actor for the DCU is cast, I promise we'll do a massive Batman marathon of all the movies, including the classic animated movies. But like James Gunn's and the like James Gunn says about the Batman 2 script, not till it's on my desk will we do that. Find me the DCU Batman casting and we'll start the marathon. Which with Cliff is casting soon, I'm going to guess it's going to be any day. Oh, that makes me sad to see a Samson like that. Do you know how to join? Let me invite you, Chosen. I think I can post a comment here. That's creepy. You can't pick between Sentry and Superman Underground. There you go, Chosen. Surprised Chosen's still up. Yeah. Sentry doesn't have magic, does he? He's just powerful.
What's up?
You want to help answer the question I'm talking to Underground about?
Oh, you're talking about the Superman Sentry thing?
Yeah.
I mean, it depends because obviously, you know, you have Superman at his like strongest, right?
Yep.
And you have Sentry at his strong. Now, I'm gonna say it's a close fight, but I'm gonna go with Superman on this one.
I would give Superman the edge because I don't think Sentry has magic. And I don't think Sentry would be smart enough to get Kryptonite.
That's the thing. Like, I think he'll put up a decent fight, but I just feel like Superman just wins it at the end.
I agree. I feel like it's a Black Adam versus Superman situation.
Yeah, it's basically that.
Speaking Arkham Asylum, did you know that Warner Brothers movie World in Australia had an Arkham Asylum VR roller coaster, but it was down in 2022? Oh, that's crazy.
I'm thinking, should I buy my tickets next week for Superman? I'm thinking about it.
Did
I'm
you
thinking, yeah.
want to see one of Dennis Shills?
Yeah, I saw your video on them. Listen, I'm not gonna be that person because, you know.
You can be excited for both films. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, like I'm personally excited for both of them, but I'm not. But the fact that he said that, oh, you know, this looks way better than Superman, I'm like, bro. Here's the thing, okay? Like, now listen, there's both movies could be better in different ways. You know, Superman could be better because of the story and the plot, right? And then freaking Fantastic Four could be better because it's visually looks good and CGI looks good. So there's different ways movies could be better, but I don't like the comparison, and it's so dumb.
Brandon asked you a question.
What?
What Star Wars actor would you like to see in the DCU aside from Karen Monahan, Wally West, Flash?
That's a good question. I gotta look at Star Wars actors real quick. Hold on, Brandon. But Joe, I just don't like the comparison because I'm like, here's the thing. There's no point in comparing Fantastic Four to Superman. Like both movies are probably gonna be pretty good. Like both movies are probably gonna be good.
Watch that, and I will after the stream. I'll be honest. From what I've heard, I told the same thing to Kenna on the phone. I don't think you can pair the two movies because even if Marvel fans really like Fantastic Four, right? To be fair, because Marvel DC has had a lot of chances and they've failed, but Marvel was here, right? Marvel is now trash bin here.
I remember the one Marvel movie. I forgot which one was it. It was from Phase 4. I gotta remember. Completely forgot my memory. Ooh, that's good casting actually. That's good casting. I was just looking at
could be Cassandra.
that's good casting actually. I never thought about that. But Joe, I was gonna say I do think Fantastic Four is gonna be good, but I do think Superman's gonna be great. I think that's the thing. I think that movie's gonna be good, but then Superman's gonna be great. There's a big difference there. Good and great is big.
Yeah, I agree with Chosen in the sense that I think I will enjoy Fantastic Four, but I'm gonna get a more emotional impact watching Superman, I think.
Exactly.
And that's a good take, you know? That's a good take.
Movies, right? So can I tell you something and I don't want you guys to get mad? you can say, I don't think that you can say one movie is better than the other, but I'm going to tell you one thing. Because I've used my example that Marvel right now is basically in the epitome of being, even with Thunderbolts being good, Marvel for me is still like, in terms of comic book movies, not necessarily shows because it's a mixture between shows and movies and they've had wins and loses. I think Marvel is at this point in the comic book genre, they're as far to being in the trash as they can go. But
I think for me personally, Joe, I
Yeah.
think Marvel is in the middle. But if we're talking DC, DC's up there. Like it's rare, it's like high up there. Like I'm talking
I think-
top.
the best, even though they don't have the full universe yet, I think some of the best DC projects are better than some of the best Marvel projects.
And I agree with that because I mean I could think of a couple DC projects that I do like. Like I can think of a couple.
So I would say, for me, the way I look at it is because of how low Marvel is. I'm gonna say something that without giving a full review because I haven't seen the movie, just looking at the trailers. I predict Fantastic Four will either be a 7 or 6 out of 10.
I agree with that. I said for me personally, I said I was gonna give it a 7.
Yes, because I think Fantastic Four, is going to be either it's going to be extremely average, or it'll be pretty good.
Because I do think there's gonna be some good parts in Fantastic Four. Like Galactus is a good example. Like
But I
Galactus,
don't think that it's fair to compare the two movies because I think that Superman will be generational, and I think Fantastic Four is going to be a movie you watch, a popcorn movie for like the weekend, and then you're not.
yeah,
going
like you like for Fantastic Four, like do good. Like you, if you want to go to the movies for a weekend with your family, because this movie Fantastic Four is a family movie. If you
It
think
is.
about it. So yeah, like you can go watch it with your family because it's all about family. You know, that's what.
But Superman has better impact on.
Yeah, it
fans.
has more impact because you know it gives you a message too, and Superman gives you a message like hope.
Did you see the video of Soups crying on Twitter?
I think I did actually. I think I saw his.
Saw it earlier, didn't review it yet, but he was bawling.
I do think this movie's gonna make me cry at some point. I have a feeling because
Big
I
Mark
said
popular movies since it's Jurassic Park, Soup, and Fantastic Four.
you
Yeah,
see now that's the thing I want to bring up. If out of those 3 movies, if we're talking box office wise, I think out of the 3 movies, I think Jurassic is gonna make the most.
I was just gonna say that, and honestly, I wouldn't be mad because I just find it really funny that people are, they're being like, "Oh, F4 or Superman," when
But you
clearly
guys
the
are not
winner,
talking about Jurassic. You're forgetting.
clearly the winner will be Jurassic because no matter what, people are gonna see dinosaur movies. So
people are going to see dinosaur movies, but because of Jurassic World, if you look at box office numbers, when it comes to movies, I know people like AJ will go see Jurassic Park because they love dinosaurs, right? And there's a lot of people who love dinosaurs. Right now, we're in a weird place in Hollywood where people are fatigued of certain things, right? So if you look at the first 3 Jurassic Park movies, people liked the first movie, they liked the second movie, they had issues with the third movie, but they still liked it. That was a part of the Steven.
I agree with that argument that people are fatigued of things, but you can say the same thing for Superman and Fantastic Four because there's a lot of people who are fatigued with Marvel, but there's also people who are fatigued with superhero films in general that they won't be seeing Superman even though it's something new.
That's the thing. Like I did notice that a lot when it comes to superhero movies. Like it's not only Fantastic Four, it's Superman, and even other like superhero movies too. Like yeah,
It goes against that argument that I will say, and that is that if you go and look, the marketing, even though there's been trailers, I would say even though Fantastic Four doesn't have as strong of marketing as Superman, it's the marketing for Jurassic World has been bad, bro. Like there are people that don't even know. Like I think it comes out July. I think it's July. Is it the same week as Superman or is it after?
I will say in terms of marketing with Jurassic, the new Jurassic movie, I think they're not advertising it as hard because they don't need to. And I think they didn't want to try to get into that battle between F4 and Superman. So they're like, "Oh, We don't need to advertise that much.
I do want to point out, just to remind you guys, that with let's do the, I remember how to do this on my camera for a minute. I don't really have a picture, but it's okay. Just because my phone's charging, I wasn't able to look at it the whole time. But I do want to say that I think the thing that puts things apart is, like you and I have always talked about, kind of people are fatigued of superhero things, but I'm sorry to remind people of this, but do you guys know what Marvel movie made the most money out of previous Marvel movie iterations in Phase 4 and Phase 5?
Which one?
A little movie called Guardians 3. And who directed Guardians 3 again?
James Gunn.
Exactly. So I'm just saying, if you look at the marketing,
I'm not denying that Superman is gonna make a lot of money. It's totally gonna be super successful. I'm just saying, like, for the general audiences, I feel like they're kind of they don't really have a strong opinion on either of these three movies.
But the thing I think is brilliant about the general audience is that I've seen some conversations with the general audience, and I've seen the general audience, just because, you know, when you're watching these movies in theaters as they're coming out, everything's getting marketing, but the amount of marketing that they're putting behind Superman, I think, is actually working on the public. And
Yeah, no doubt.
and while not many people pay attention to like articles, a lot of people sometimes watch. The internet's a big place, right? So a lot of people, and I'll be honest, I think James Gunn has done an excellent job of selling people to his cause.
Okay, bro. I'm on Twitter right now, and I'm just seeing something so dumb. You know what someone said on Twitter about Superman? This pisses me off.
But
Yeah.
Someone said, "Why is Superman always yelling, bro, in this new
Oh,
movie?"
complaining about the clip.
Did you see the clip, Joe?
Yep, I watched it finally.
Bro, that's yo. You guys are so dumb. You don't understand
The
Superman.
problem, and I didn't want to do this because I didn't want to get into debate about this until I saw the movie. There are already people that are pretending, that are probably in the Snyder cult camp, that are trying to say that they know Superman, and they don't. They don't understand that the vision for Superman is that when you are as close to humanity with being Kryptonian, but still being close to humanity, Superman has emotions. He is not a lifeless, soulless person.
Yes. And here's the thing, okay?
Henry Cavill, but Henry Cavill is a brilliant actor. He showed no emotions.
And here's the thing, Joe. I want to bring up another show, like a Superman show, that they did the exact same thing with what this movie is doing. Remember that scene in Superman Lois where Clark was mad at Lex Luthor?
Yep.
And I think it was like in episode 6 or 7. I don't know which episode it was. And then they get into a fight outside in the street in the rain.
Yep.
You guys are complaining about that, right? Go watch that scene and see what you gotta say.
Yeah, you know, it's just they don't understand. People that complain about that don't understand Superman at all. And also, Brandon, yeah, we were just talking about that clip.
And that's the thing, like, bro, like, I'm gonna say something crazy. Besides David, because David's a great actor, besides him, I think Tyler, who plays Superman from Superman Lois, is one of the best actors, besides David, obviously. Like,
what's even crazier, James Gunn wanted to bring Tyler Hoechlin back into the DCU since he already had a high praise for David. Since it's not been cast yet, and I think he could do it, how would you feel, especially if you bulked up and got in shape, right? How would you feel just to stand next to David if Hoechlin came in and played Batman?
ooh.
Do you think he's at the right age range that he could do it?
Oh, let me see. How old is he actually?
Yeah. Because I heard the actor that they wanted to play Batman based on that physical aspect just turned 35, so his window is closing to play Batman.
Yeah, Tyler Hoechlin is 37.
that's perfect because he's closer to the age that people expect Batman to be. Because my gap is 35 to 40 is maximum.
So yeah, you know what, Joe? You might be onto something.
I should look up fan art for that to see how he looks in the cowl. I bet he looks good.
Yo, bro, like Tyler, yo,
Teen Wolf.
yeah,
Is it a good comparison that some people are comparing David Cornswell to Superman like John Wick?
yes.
The dog? Yes. That's a good comparison. That's not a problem. I mean, we all love our dogs.
Bro, I'm sorry. When I was watching this scene, bro, Lex is such a hater. He said dog in an ugly cape. Bro, that dude's a hater.
You know what's crazy about that? I'm going to say something insane that people haven't thought about.
Yeah.
I know it's David Cornsweet's movie. I'm going to say something wild. A lot of people are going to watch this movie, and I think Lex Luthor is going to steal this movie for people.
I think, you know what? I agree. I think Nicholas Hoult is going to be my top 3 for Lex Luthor.
I mean, I really only have one contender for him. I think he's already, and this might be blasphemous because we haven't seen the actual movie yet. I think the clips we've seen, especially in that last trailer chosen, I think he's already better than you-know-who from Superman and Lois. Like,
I don't know. I just that's because I love the Lex from Superman and Lois. That's why I'm like, I don't know. Like, they're very close. Like, I think those two are very close.
Won it over for me is that this Lex was willing to do anything it took. Right, like the moment in the trailer when he says what he's going to do to Clark's family, that won me over. Like, once I saw that, so now I really...
The one thing, it's just, you know why I'm kind of like in on that, Joe? Because the Lex from Superman and Lois was doing a lot. Like, bro literally got freaking Doomsday to kill freaking Superman, and he obviously was successful in the beginning, and then he was freaking trying to like hurt Jordan or Jonathan or one of those two brothers. And I'm like, okay, bro, now you're taking this thing way too far.
For a long time, he and we haven't seen this whole movie yet. We've only seen clips. There is a article from Peter Safran, James Gunn's co-boss or partner, I guess you would say, who says that Lex Luthor, they're already planning Lex Luthor, unlike Marvel. Villains in the DCU are going to stick around and look for bigger threats.
You know what, Joe? I like that because I even gave a prediction a while ago that I think the Lex Luthor from this movie is probably going to be the president of the DCU.
They'll probably do that arc. I think they'll probably do that. I think what they're definitely going to do is they're going to do what Marvel hasn't done, which is since Marvel hasn't done Masters of Evil, I told Kendra this on the phone, I think DC will do Legion of Doom.
I agree with that. I actually could see that because I feel like they're going to do a lot of setup. And I think this movie's going to do a lot of setup too.
Yeah, I think so too. I've been talking about things chosen. I heard the end credit scenes of this movie are not going to be as important as, like, say, a Marvel movie. I think all the leadings to the DCU are going to be in the movie itself. Because I heard, we heard Supergirl's in the movie. We also know that Rick Flag Sr. is in this movie, and he's also... Remember, Peacemaker comes out 1 month after Superman.
Yeah.
So we already know, timeline-wise, what our next project is.
Yep.
Because I guarantee you, Rick Flag Sr. is going to do something with Superman in this movie, where he goes and... I think, and it's not in the trailer, I would not be... I'm going to do a prediction. I bet you we get a Peacemaker mention in Superman.
I actually do think we will because I have a feeling, and I think I know when we're going to get this mention. I have a feeling it's going to be, I think it's going to be in the third act of the movie.
I wouldn't be surprised. I'm wondering, something I'm really hoping in this movie, because James Gunn said this is going to be a depowered Superman, right?
Yes.
You know what I thought about that would be crazy? And it's not in any of the trailers. You know the scene where Superman is in handcuffs being carried around with Ultraman and did you see the set photos of Rick Flag Sr. leading the charge?
Yes.
Could you imagine if we get a Rick Flag Sr. versus Superman fight in this movie?
I think you know what, Jordan? I was talking to a couple friends of us. I think they're hiding some fight scenes from us.
I think so too. But could you imagine, dude? The combat in this movie, I think, is gonna be insane. Like, I think it's gonna be absolutely insane.
And that's not the only fight they're gonna hide from us from these trailers. I also think that Clark and Lex are gonna fight in this movie too.
I think they're saving it because I think it's the end fight.
Because I want to, you know what we could see, and I think it could be in the third act of the movie. Maybe there's like a close fight, like they're like about to fight, but then something like interrupts it, like something big interrupts that fight. Like, because I do think that they might do a little bit of a setup, like a tease.
Well, what it depends is they're really showing the Ultraman fight in the trailer. So I wonder if the Ultraman fight is earlier in the movie.
Now I don't know, because it depends. Like, and it kind of even has the profile picture when Lex Luthor is crashing out. I wonder if that scene is in the third act as well.
I
Just
wonder
might.
if that scene is. You know what wouldn't be surprised me in that scene? That's the scene where Superman gets his confidence, right?
Yeah.
Did you notice in the trailer how Superman says, "Hey, buddy," and then flies up in that TV spot to Lex Luthor?
Yeah.
I bet you that he beats Ultraman already, and that was Lex's big plan. And Lex gets pissed.
Yeah.
Because I have a feeling, just because they're hiding it so close, even though we did get a shot of him without the mask, I'm going to say something wild. And I told McKenna this earlier. Everyone is 100% saying, Retroad's saying it, everyone's saying it, that Ultraman is 100% just evil David Cornsweet, right?
Yes.
I'm going to throw something crazier out there, and I'm not going to say it's a 100% chance, but I'm going to say it's got a 50-50 chance. Do you remember when James Gunn said he offered Henry Cavill a role, but it wasn't revealed what the role was?
Mm.
It will piss the Snyder fans off, absolutely. But I think there was a 50% chance that James Gunn hit Henry Cavill in this movie.
Bro, that would be crazy.
Listen, I'm not saying it's 100% confirmed. I'll know July 8th if it is. And like I said, if it's David Cornsweet being evil, I'm okay with that. Because we get to see David versus David, and you get that little Homelander vibe. And remember, since you're a fan of the Arrowverse, Chosen, you remember how great Oliver versus Oliver was?
Oh yeah.
Bro, just imagine, like, if it is Cornsweet at this stage in his career, how, if he plays a good Ultraman in this movie, I know we don't like this specific IP right now, but if he plays a good Ultraman and they get their shit together and they put the right people in charge, I want Cornsweet as a Sith in Star Wars. If he plays a good Ultraman.
You know what? I actually also have another theory about that Ultron thing, because I actually brought this up to you a while ago, Joe, I think a couple days ago. I think there's a chance, and maybe I'm reaching on this. There's a chance Ultraman could actually become the DCU Doomsday somehow, somewhere.
Yes, some people don't want that, but I actually think I'm actually fine with it.
Yeah, you know what? No. You know, I actually like that. Because James Gunn is going to do the biggest middle finger to the Zack Snyder fans. Because remember how he did the Doomsday in Batman vs. Superman?
Yeah, just the clone of Zod.
He's going to do a big middle finger to those Snyder fans.
It feels like the cartoon.
He's gonna make a better version of Doomsday. Trust me.
That could be possible, Ken. I like that idea. I do think, because this is a lived-in world, that there are characters that might not be cast that can get referenced. As long as there is a script with their name on it, I think anybody is game.
Bro,
Like
that would be wild.
corporations, even though they haven't done anything with the Blue Beetle thing, I bet you we could get a Ted Kord mention in this movie too.
I actually do think there's a chance that, because I'm glad you brought that up, Joe, because now that we know that Blue Beetle's character is a part of DCU, I think there could be a some sort of mention with the Blue Beetle movie.
And while nobody has been able to say anything, there's no spoilers that are able to get out of there yet. I'll be honest, I think Blue Beetle might appear in this movie. Because, do you want to know something crazy, Chosen?
Yeah.
Remember when there's that weird little reports about Karate Kid Legends? Everyone said that Shoal was talking about Karate Kid Legends?
Yeah.
We knew that turned out being false, right?
Yeah.
If you go back and watch the video, there's a video about summer movies and Showa right when the season 6 interviews were coming in, right? We weren't even really getting our push-up, kick-up marketing for Superman yet. And you know what's really funny?
Yeah.
Showa keeps saying in Instagram posts and in videos watch his face when he says it. He says, "Go see Superman, guys. Go see Superman."
Do you think there's a chance they might have sneaked him in there?
I think so because it's not like the Karate Kid Legends thing. I think he's generally trying to hide that he's in this movie because
Bro, if that's true, I'm gonna freak out, bro.
Just think about it this way, right? Think about it this way. They got a Justice Gang in this movie. What if we haven't seen? Remember what James Gunn said? We've not seen all the characters in the marketing.
No, that is true. Actually, I haven't seen all of them.
I thought of something crazier. Remember how we were theorizing about all the characters in the marketing, and they announced who's playing Superman's real parents yesterday?
Yeah.
You know what that means? And I wanted to bring this up to you, Kenna. That means that those characters are no longer in the running for characters that we haven't seen in the marketing. Because to be fair, even though we hadn't heard their voices very much, the Guardians actors that played the robots, we've seen the robots in the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
So there are characters in this movie that we have not seen. I will say, even though it's been rumored, I will say that one of those characters is definitely, I think Supergirl is still one of those characters that's on that list.
Oh yeah, totally.
Because even though she was technically announced, it wasn't like super announced in marketing. So I think there's a chance. But I also think, yeah, Blue Beetle's on that list. And I think there may be one of the surprise hero that exists in this universe that we're going to get revealed to. Because it's very interesting that, like, to me, the word of mouth I'm hearing for this movie, the only reason that the last time we saw a movie that kept spoilers this close to a release or an early release, it was Deadpool Wolverine. And you remember all the cameos in that movie?
Yep.
I'm just saying, I wouldn't be surprised if there's another hero in there that they don't want us to know about. And I'm going to throw a wild take on it since they're filming this movie now and it's not that far, and they were filming Superman when the show was still being made. You ready for another theory? What if Guy Gardner's not the only Green Lantern in this movie?
Ooh.
I was just gonna say that. What if we see Jon Stewart?
No, I don't think Jon Stewart yet. I was going to say...
Oh, Hal Jordan?
I think we see Hal Jordan.
Oh.
Think about it. We're tying in Peacemaker. Might as well tie in Lanterns as well.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense. The show's almost done, I heard, filming. And we're not going to get to probably see a lot of Hal Jordan. Like, we'll see a lot of Hal Jordan mentoring John. But wouldn't this be the perfect way to see what Guy Gardner and Hal's relationship is like?
Mm-hmm.
I think that'd be cool. I mean, because we get to know what Hal Jordan's like before we see Lanterns. And what if he's in a snippet of this movie, but we're watching this movie like, man, I can't wait to see more Hal Jordan.
Yeah, and Joe, I was gonna bring it up. Like, I do think also, because speaking of Superman, I do think we'll get 2 post-credit scenes for Superman. And I do think one of them.
But I will tell you, Chosen, don't expect anything big. I've heard about them. They're not going to do anything that is going to set up the larger DCU. They're going to be more humorous things.
Okay.
Because the movie, like I said, like I was telling Kenna, the movie is doing the job of the end credit scenes.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Because you have Supergirl, you have Rick Flag Sr. in the movie, and if you have Hal Jordan in this movie, that's the setup for the DCU. You have all these big components in here.
I do think, because I do think, though, that the ending of Superman, I don't know how they're going to do it. Maybe some way they're going to set up something big. Because
the only thing I could see happening potentially, and I will say that this is the most likely scenario, is that we end the movie with Lex smiling like his plan isn't over, and maybe he starts saying, "Oh, you guys call yourself the Justice Gang. Well, maybe it's time we get a gang of our own." And then we start setting up the Injustice Gang.
Because I do think they're going to set up something big with Lex's character, too, because I do think he's going to have his own team as well.
Yeah, I think they're going to build into that, because we know he's got helpers in this movie. We know Engineer works for him, because in the scene with the football stadium,
Yep.
you can see she's fighting Superman. We also
And that would make me happy, because if he's gonna make his own team, hey Lex Luthor, can you please get Reverse Flash or Zoom in the DCU?
I mean, it's possible one of those speedsters could come in once everything happens. I do wonder, with the fact that they're waiting towards the day before the early screening comes out, if there is going to be a really big secret character that nobody can predict to be in this movie. I'm trying to even think who it would be, but just imagine if it's something massive. What if someone that wasn't cast, they purposely are holding off on announcing until people see the movie?
Like, bro, if you like imagine this, like like they're hiding the big surprise, then you see the movie and you're like, oh my god, I did not expect this.
Like, imagine James Gunn lies to everyone and says, "Oh, okay, you have to wait to see Batman, for Clayface and then Brave and the Bold, right?" And
Yeah.
imagine, instead of a normal casting announcement at Comic-Con, we find out who plays Batman at the end of during the credits of this movie.
Bro, if James Gunn does that, bro, I'm gonna freak out.
Because what if this movie ends and it's like Clark Elizabeth in Justice Gang is like, I heard there's this guy in Gotham that's making quite a lot of noise. And he's up there on the rooftop, and then you see Batman.
Like, you know what they could do, Joe? If they do that, they could show like a far shot of him, right? But we don't see his face.
Well, I'm hoping they do what they did in Creature Commandos, but in live action, where it's just like a shot in lightning and dark, and you just see the silhouette, and then they reveal a close-up shot of the face, and then, say for hypothetical sake, to get people freaked out, right? Then you see credits roll. Alan Richardson will return as Batman. Not saying that's going to happen, but I'm just saying to name a name that we've wanted that's just a hypothetical. It could also say, oh, it's Jensen Ackles as Batman, Tyler Hoechlin as Batman, what's his face? Brandon Scallion as Batman. Like, any of those names could be attached. But I'm going to say, like, that's, like, to me, the Batman scenario, I think, is, like, the most unlikely scenario, because I really feel like James Gunn wants to make that a big announcement. But I think there could be another big character that could appear.
There could be another character that we don't even know that's going to even, like, come in this movie.
To be fair, even though I know Supergirl's going to appear in this movie, I know they've said that they mostly saved it for the filming for Supergirl, but I'm going to throw a wild take for you guys, since he's hunted both characters. What if James Gunn makes his debut as Lobo in this movie? Oh, not James Gunn. Jason Momoa.
You know what? There could be a chance that they might sneak him in this movie.
Because he was cast a long time for this movie.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
Batcowl in Superman 2025. Oh, I see, Kenna. Batcowl. You're funny.
I still remember. I know I haven't seen Peacemaker, but I remember that one scene in season 1 where we saw the Justice League. Such a great scene, bro.
That's the only scene that's not canon in the DCU. And even though we love Superman and Superman's going to have great characters in it, the trailers have already shown that characters from Superman are going to appear. And James Gunn said that the end of Peacemaker features a bigger DCU cameo.
No, I do think.
My money is on. I'll let you say what you were going to say first, Chosen.
Actually, you could say. I think I know what you're going to say.
My money is I think we're going to get Oliver in Peacemaker.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Remember in season 1, Peacemaker was talking shit with Vigilante about Green Arrow.
So we could see him. You never know.
He could debut.
But that would be crazy.
Bro, could you imagine if like Stephen Amell just popped up on Peacemaker? Oh my god.
And I wouldn't be. You know what? That would be crazy if James Gunn actually got.
No, can't play Green Arrow away from the comic. But you know what? The people are forgetting that they keep forgetting. That's interesting to me.
Mm.
You remember what Stephen Amell said? If Arrow got more than 6 seasons,
Yeah.
you would get the Green Arrow goatee and the Robin Hood hat. He said, I would show up looking like this guy. And I'm sorry, but Arrow season 7 gave him a beard, not a goatee. So that statement is not true.
Yep.
So I'll be honest. Well, I think Grant Gustin could appear as a Flash character in in the DCU, I think it's far more likely that Gunn and Steven have already been talking, and that Steven could be snuck in as returning as full-on DCU Green Arrow. I know people like, but Steven's getting up there in age. Why would you have Green Arrow be older? Mike, Green Arrow's been around a long time as a DC character, so I think it would make sense for Green Arrow to be older.
Okay, there we go. I changed my profile picture.
What did you change it to?
David, Superman.
I hate you. It's my reenactment of the scene.
My favorite, out of all Superman footage, I think my favorite footage of David Cornsweet's Superman is him looking up at Lex and saying, "Hey, buddy, I just love that energy."
Where's the dog, Luthor?
Yes,
What dog? I don't know what dog you're talking about.
amazing emotion.
The dog in the ugly
Do you
cave?
guys think that if David is gonna play Ultraman, do you guys think that when the mask is off, do you think Ultraman will have any speaking lines? Or you think it's
Probably.
You know what, Joe? You know what I think was gonna happen? I think they're gonna fight it out, and then after and then probably nearly the end of the fight, he reveals himself.
yeah? Well, we know in the trailer kind of already spoils that he gets unmasked during the fight.
So yeah, he's definitely gonna.
If you look at the trailer and you pause the screenshots, I've seen people that have screenshots of Ultraman is someone with a big beard and long hair.
And I think that's David himself.
Some people believe it's David, but some people remember. Did you ever see the original fan art for Henry Cavill's what Superman was supposed to look like in the Snyder Cut before they changed it?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
He had a literally mullet in a black suit and then had a full-on beard.
You know, now I can just imagine how pissed off the Snyder fans would be if that was the case.
I want them to do it just because I think it'd be hilarious.
they're like, no.
Getting a meme on them would be hilarious.
They're like, no, Henry Cavill, how could you?
They're gonna be saying shit like that. I'm gonna eat that shit up, bro. But honestly, for David's career, I want it to be David. Because, dude, if David starts playing a villain and gets to play Superman in this iconic performance, his aura is gonna be crazy. Every single studio in the world is gonna be after this guy.
I honestly do think there's a chance that, and I want to actually have another theory on Ultraman. I don't think he could only be. I don't think there's a chance he could be Doomsday, but there's another character he could be, and I feel like a lot of people are not talking about this character. I think there's a chance that Ultraman, or obviously David, the evil David, whatever clone, could be Bizarro.
That's what I think it is, because you know where they're fighting, right? Did you notice the lighting in that trailer?
Yeah.
I think we're either getting one of two things. Because one thing, you see the Peacemaker Season 2 trailer, right?
Yeah, I saw that trailer.
In Peacemaker Season 2, they're fighting in the pocket dimensions developed in the comics. And it was also used in the Arrowverse when Oliver sends Felicity to that special world, right?
Yep.
I believe that there is a chance, considering this is all connected, what if the two Peacemakers that are fighting, what if they are actually in the Bizarro world that they're fighting? And this movie only introduces the Bizarro world.
I want that. James Gunn, please do that. I would freaking.
I'm fine with David playing Bizarro Superman. I think that would be great. I would love to see an opposite version of
Maybe you know what they could do. I could see, because you're saying that they might take off his mask. Maybe he talks to Superman backwards, because that's what Bizarro does, right? He talks backwards.
They could do that.
That would be cool, actually. I would love that.
They'll do things because of the Lex Luthor's plan. I'll say honestly, I won't be surprised if what if it starts out where they kind of James Gunn tries to trick us and they make it think that it is Bizarro. But even if it is Bizarro, instead of Zod like in Man of Steel, what if Bizarro, just like in Superman and Lois? Remember, Bizarro's DNA was used to create Doomsday.
Yep.
So what if this still does lead to Doomsday?
It could still, like I said, man, I do want to see the DCU Doomsday. I do want to see that happen.
As much as you love Superman and Lois, do you think with the budget and the access that James Gunn has access, do you think that there is potential that James Gunn could make an even better Doomsday than even what we got in Superman and Lois?
I don't know. It really depends. I like the Doomsday from Superman and Lois, but it really depends. I do think, though, that we can both agree, Joe, that if they do make a Doomsday in DCU, I think it's going to be better than the one from Batman vs. Superman. That's 100% sure.
Well, that's not going to be hard to top because way smarter than Zack.
That version of Doomsday looks terrible. I'm sorry. That looks awful, bro.
Oh, that's not Doomsday. That's a Ninja Turtle crossed with the cave troll from Lord of the Rings.
That's the thing. Like, I just don't get why. Like, who in the freaking writers' room thought that? Oh, or who in the costume designer thought that? Oh, this is how Doomsday should look in Batman vs. I'm like, no, that's not how he looks. Go watch Superman
when that-
Lois.
Backlash, Zack Snyder tried to tell people it wasn't Doomsday.
Bro, that's such a dumb statement though. Like, what do you mean that's not Doomsday? That's literally Doomsday. Like, Zack Snyder, let me tell you this.
Doomsday? Why would Jesse Eisenberg want to be asked Lex Luthor say, and I give you your Doomsday?
Here's the thing, Snyder. I have a thing to tell you, okay? Go watch Superman Lois. And once you get to the season 3 finale, do your homework, because that's how Doomsday should look. Freaking saying, oh, that's not Doomsday. And I guarantee you the DCU Doomsday is going to be like up there with the freaking Superman Lois Doomsday. Those two Doomsday are going to be the best versions of Doomsday.
I mean, when James Gunn's researches and Peter Safran's money, I think it will probably be better.
I think, yeah, that's it, because it's a movie. It's a movie and the show, it's different. So I do think it's going to be better because it's a movie. I will give
like the Doomsday we saw in Superman and Lois only had one form.
I will say though, even though it was a show, I will give Superman and Lois some credit. They did a really good job, because the fact that they were able to do this on a TV show is wild to me.
And remember, people forget this. When Superman and Lois was released for the first premiere, they released the premiere on Max at the same time as the CW, because when they made Superman and Lois, when they made every other CW Arrowverse show, all of them were made and filmed in the same place as the regular Arrowverse shows were, right?
Yeah.
But if you watch the premiere of Superman and Lois, it was made for Max by Max.
That's the thing. That's what makes Superman and Lois look so good, because it was made from that, yeah. I didn't notice that, actually. I was like, yeah. And bro, the Doomsday design, Joe? I think it was episode 9.
Yeah.
Before the season 4 finale. That Doomsday design looks so freaking cool. I gotta find a photo of that. Hold on, let me see if I can find it.
Good design.
I gotta find a photo of that. Superman and Lois Doomsday. Okay. Okay, is this a good photo? I think this is a good photo. Okay, let me share my screen real quick.
That was a pretty cool way to show his X-ray vision. We're watching Kingdom. We're watching Brandon Ralph and Superman Returns right now.
This design looks so freaking cool, bro. Like, I am curious how Superman and Lois were able to pull this off. Like, I'm actually like wondering. Like, how did Superman and Lois pull it off way better than Batman vs Superman? I'm actually curious how a freaking TV show did a better job than a movie.
Bro, honestly, I'm not sure.
Like, bro, I wonder if Zack Snyder watched Superman and Lois and he saw the Doomsday and he's like, oh shoot, this looks so much better than ours.
I wonder if he got pissed off.
I do think that James Gunn, because I know he's a fan of Superman and Lois. Like, I know he's a fan of that show. I wonder if we do get Doomsday, he's gonna use he might do some sort of homework a little bit, because he might make it a little bit similar to the Superman and Lois Doomsday that we got, but he's gonna make it a little bit better because bigger budget. So, I mean, that's cool. Like, he does his homework, and that's what I love about James Gunn. He does his homework.
He's James Gunn. He's got the resources to do whatever he wants.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like, he's probably gonna research. Like, he's gonna Doomsday, and he sees the Superman and Lois design. He's like, wait, this looks pretty good. Like, I gotta do something similar like this. I wouldn't be even surprised if James Gunn calls Tyler and he's like, hey dude, like I saw the Superman Lois episode where Doomsday comes in. I'm trying to like, make it something similar, but obviously it's gonna be a lot better and bigger budget, Like Tyler gives him some advice. I'll be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because I trust James Gunn. I have a feeling he's gonna pull it off. Like I don't see no world where he fails to do Doomsday.
I mean, I know you're excited for Fantastic Four chosen, but I feel like after Superman, and I know we still have Doomsday to look forward to, and I know we have Secret Wars to look forward. I think if Superman is good, I think people are going to fall off the Marvel train as their number one franchise.
I do think so because even though I'm excited for Fantastic Four,
even if Fantastic Four is good, I just think that Superman will be so good that it's generational, and I think that people just won't even be able to accept how good that is.
the scene. I think what's gonna make it generational because that one scene where Lex Luthor is crashing out. I guarantee you, once we get this movie and once we see that scene where Lex Luthor's crashing out, I guarantee you people are gonna post that on freaking everywhere on social media, like freaking Lex Luthor just crashing out. Like,
Oh, you know, films are going to be real, but I just don't think. I think people when they see the movie they'll understand the vision.
What if Underground? If James Gunn does the phases like Marvel, he's gonna do it way better. He's gonna do it way better.
I mean, they're kind of doing something better than phases. They're doing chapters, like a book.
Like James Gunn's gonna do it better though, because James Gunn actually understands.
So DC's first movies and TV shows, chapter 1 is Gods and Monsters. So one thing Marvel never had until the Infinity Saga was a theme, right? So you did the Avengers movies, and they were setting up to something. So we had Loki just kind of split in there from the Thor movies. Then you got to see what happened with all the other movies. And then eventually we got the War Saga after the Ultron stuff.
Do you feel, Joe, that maybe because he's doing this whole chapter? Because when did we get Infinity War? Phase 3?
Yeah.
What if we get a big, like a huge like event movie from the DCU in chapter 3?
I think we'll get it in chapter 2.
Or chapter 2, like I think there's gonna be something big.
I think we're gonna get our first Justice League movie in chapter 2.
And I can see that because maybe
doesn't exist, but they're going to start existing.
Because I do think, because I'm glad you brought up the whole thing of Lex Luthor, because they want to keep him around. I think that they're gonna slowly build up Lex, and then once we get to the Justice League movie, he's gonna be like the villain of that. I do think we'll get like another big villain working with Lex too. Because it'll be so cool. I'm sorry, bro.
Build it up because I think they're gonna show how terrifying Lex is by himself, and then when he loses to Superman, they're gonna end up making more stuff happen with.
This might be crazy, but do you think at some point in the future of the DCU you might see Darkseid?
Yes, I think by Justice League 3.
Bro, I guarantee you, and this might be a big middle finger to Zack Snyder, I guarantee you James Gunn is going to do a way better job with Darkseid.
Not only do you do a better job with Darkseid, and I've said this for a long time, people don't understand this. I know people like Thanos for Marvel, and they compare the two characters. Darkseid is going, no disrespect to Josh Brolin, but people remember Darkseid more than they remember Thanos.
And that's the thing, Thanos, I love Thanos. Like, I think he was a great villain for the Infinity Saga. Like, this dude was going crazy. But if you've seen Darkseid, bro, you don't understand, bro.
Darkseid doesn't need a gauntlet. He is power.
That's the thing. Like,
he will pick. If you play in Darkseid Injustice 2, bro, his combos are literally just smacking the shit out of people. That's how powerful he is.
And I guarantee, and this might be Now, I know a lot of people are gonna say this is a crazy take, but I don't care. I think Darkseid beats Thanos.
Easily, because even with the gauntlet, Darkseid could just use his Omega beams to obliterate the gauntlet.
You know what? I agree with that. I think he was better as Cable. I actually agree with that take.
Yeah, I liked him as Cable. I'm still mad at Deadpool Wolverine that Cable did not come back for Deadpool Wolverine.
That's the one thing I am pissed off
I
about.
think they should have brought Cable back.
Do you think Cable should be back when they bring all the X-Men characters? Because Cable's the son of Cyclops and Jean Grey.
The only thing that goes against that theory is, do you guys remember when Brolin was in the running for Hal Jordan at DC?
Yeah.
So you know how he didn't get that role, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know if you guys already know this because this isn't exactly known news, but I know this. I was told, even though James Gunn has not denied that this movie exists, but he hasn't denied it, but he also hasn't confirmed it, right?
Mm-hmm.
There have been rumors ever since Brave New World was coming out, which is not a good movie, that there was talk of a Deathstroke and Bane movie, right? And remember what James Gunn said? Well, he did not. He has said multiple times that there are movies that are being made that have not been announced. And remember what James Gunn said in terms of casting? You'll find about casting when the script is done. I have
I see.
told many times that a Deathstroke and Bane movie was happening. And after that whole Brolin didn't get the role of Hal Jordan, he kind of made a phrase about it, like that he wasn't upset about it. It sounded like that there was going to be something else more exciting for him to do. And even though I've always pitched, I totally want to see Scott Adkins as Deathstroke, right?
Yeah.
I have heard and I have seen fan art. Nothing's confirmed, but if an article comes out soon when this movie when James Gunn finally announces it, whether he's waiting for Comic-Con, whatever, whenever it finally gets announced, because the script is supposed to be done, don't be surprised if they come out and tell us that Josh Brolin is playing Deathstroke.
Bro, that'd be crazy.
As much as I want Scott Adkins, one thing that I think I like about him as Deathstroke is Josh Brolin has a really good voice. And if you watch the Dune movies, which you will soon, Chosen, he looks like Deathstroke in those movies. Like, when you watch him, you'll understand.
But real quick though, I do have to go, guys.
Worries.
I'll see you guys later.
Yeah, it was good chat with you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, I agree with you, Ken. The plot in this movie is totally lost.
I understand some things, but I don't understand the motives to some characters.
Yeah, I don't understand. To be fair, I'm not a huge. One thing is, I do like Brandon Routh's Superman, and I don't know every movie has to have this one thing, but point of doing a superhero movie, not only just Superman movie, but a superhero movie. There's a lot of Superman saving people in this movie, but there's not really Superman fight scenes in this movie.
I also don't care for the plot twist that the oldest son is Superman's son, because they revealed he had powers, and then they just don't really go over it again. I'm like, what is?
Yeah, that was kind of a weird plot. If I had to rate this movie, I think I'd give it a 7.5 out of 10.
I would give it a 6.
Well, 6 is good. Yeah, about average. Yeah, maybe 6.5.
Yeah.
I thought I would find it underrated. I thought I would like it more than the Reeves movies, or at least some of them. It's definitely better than Superman 3.
Yeah,
Better than this. But it's not. But I'll be honest, and this might be a hot take because people don't like it. I might get smacked for this. I actually enjoyed Quest for Peace more than this movie.
Yeah, Quest for Peace wasn't bad.
It was silly. I see why people have issues with it, but I didn't mind it. I kind of love the joke of that. We kind of had wannabe Sentry in that movie.
I did not like Superman 3, honestly.
We all didn't like it. You guys will know that it will be my lowest rated Superman movie when I do my Superman movies ranked.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say that I think both this movie and I think Man of Steel will also be in the lower tier as well. Like,
Yeah, I'll write my ranking.
based on the live action movies, if I really like Superman, because I'm not going to rank all the Superman live action movies till I watch Superman, but if I really like Superman, I think my ranking will be Superman, Superman 2, and then Superman 1, then Quest for Peace, then probably Returns, then probably Man of Steel. But depending on my rewatching Man of Steel, it might be reversed.
Yeah, might be different.
But I do think if I really like Superman, that it would probably beat Superman 2 for me. Especially since they're saying that it's Superman 2 on steroids. That's a pretty good indicator.
Mm-hmm.
And just everything I see about this movie gets me excited. Like Mr. Terrific, Guy Gardner, like there's so many good things to be excited about. More of his kryptonite shards. I'm trying to think of another surprise character that could appear that we wouldn't know about.
I said Power Girl earlier in the chat.
So that's the only thing that confused me about Power Girl, right? So
Mhm.
Power Girl is kind of just a reskin of Supergirl. But then there's another version. I can't remember what her alter ego is, but I think in the comics there was another person that was Power Girl.
We could go either route. I don't really care.
I mean, Carl's gonna be Supergirl for a long time, and I don't necessarily look at these as like a contender, but
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen Millie Alcock's boobs yet, and Power Girl kind of has to have big boobs.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's a very important trait of her character, and they give a good reason for it. It's not just to over-sexualize the character.
Yeah, I've read the comic where they explain it.
Okay, so you know it's a very important trait. Now, I'm not saying they couldn't do it. I'm just saying that it's, like I said, I haven't seen enough of Millie Alcock to know if she can do that.
Well, it could just be a different girl.
That's what I'm saying. They could do a different version. I just don't know if they want to have Power Girl and Supergirl around at the same time. Because their powers
Didn't they
pretty-
play together before though? They've
What'd you
met.
say?
They've met each other before though.
They have. That's true. But I don't know if James Gunn wants to establish that they know each other yet or not.
Mm.
It depends.
Mm-hmm.
Krypton's destroyed in this universe, and she could still be out there somewhere. I really hope the DCU eventually adapts something that the Arrowverse did, but do it better. I'd like to see. I wonder what Underground thinks about this. Underground, do you think they're going to develop Earth X in the DCU?
I mean, it's possible.
Because you know what I was thinking would be a good Elseworld story for the DCU?
Huh.
To do an adaptation of Red Sun Superman from
Oh,
Russia. And then if you tied the Russia Superman story in, you could have Earth X be brought in as well.
yeah.
So Earth X was this story in the Arrowverse where Reverse Flash, or Harrison Wells, was a scientist that worked with the Flash, told Barry there were 52 Earths, just like the New 52, right? But secretly, there's a 53rd Earth being hidden. And on the 53rd Earth, the Nazis won World War II. And on that Earth, do you know who were the Nazis? The Justice League, like the good guys. And Hitler's assistant was evil Green Arrow, known as Dark Arrow. Like, that's one of the crazy twists that they had, which is kind of wild.
Yeah, I remember that story.
It's a pretty good story. It's one of the best crossovers I've ever seen. Now he's trying to lift up the giant rock. This reminds me of the Soviet Accords. Underground, did you watch the first 3 of Ironheart yet?
No, I haven't yet.
You gotta watch it, man. I think you're gonna like it. Okay, that's confusing. How is he able to lift it up if there's kryptonite attached to it?
I don't know.
Does it have to touch him or just... Okay, Bryan Singer clearly does not know anything about Superman. Because now it's like poking out at him. What's he's gonna take this thing? Get into space. Super strength, hurl it into the sun and fucking blast it with heat vision. Moving away from him. Oh, I get it. Okay, so because he was near the kryptonite, it made his powers not work.
Mm-hmm.
Really, Underground?
Dude, I hate the sun subplot so much. So stupid.
Which part are you at?
I'm at the part where Superman's in his bedroom and he's like asleep, and Superman goes like, the father becomes the son and the son becomes the father, and then he dips. Doesn't say anything else.
That's weird. Is that after he crashes into the ground?
I don't know what. Yeah. It's. I think I'm ahead of it. Yeah.
I think you're definitely ahead of me because I'm at the part where he crashed into the ground.
Yeah. I'm gonna head out after this movie.
Yeah, we're all headed down Underground. It's late. But we had to get this done because we put it off for so long.
Yeah.
I don't even care that it's 3 a.m. Okay, we're all going to bed now after we finish this. And we're going to save Man of Steel for
Monday.
Monday. Because I'll be off work. Plus, I'm not looking forward to that movie because it's just, there's no reason. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I don't like how the Superman fights in that movie are so long. Like, normally I wouldn't complain about fights being long if they were cool fights, right? But like, they're just lame. Like, there's this stupid thing where Zod's henchman, they have less time to be on Earth, but she's able to. The point of Superman being on Earth versus Krypton is that he's supposed to be stronger on Earth than he is on Krypton, right? And so there's a scene where Zod is weaker and Superman's able to beat him very easily. But then Zod's henchwoman from like the older Christopher Reeve Superman movie, she's different and she has like similar ability to Superman but different, and she's a lot stronger on Earth without any time to adjust. And she's easily beating Superman, but in the story, according to Zack Snyder wanting to have this overpowered, ridiculous Superman, I have no problem that Superman's losing, because eventually he does win, but it's just that there's no real struggle to it. It's just boring. Because she beats him so easily, and then you're like, he eventually finds a way, but it's like, there's no tension to it. You don't feel like there's stakes.
Yeah.
And the Zod fight in Superman, even though there's a lot of flying around and punching and stuff, the Superman and Zod fights aren't that great. Like, the actor who plays Zod is awesome. Unfortunately, the fights aren't really that worth it.
Oh, the movie's over.
I hope, because I'm sure the Superman movies will have a trilogy alongside Justice League movies.
Uh-huh.
I hope for the third Justice League movie, when we get the third Superman movie, I hope the main antagonist of that movie is Zod again.
Yeah.
But a better version of Zod.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what actor I would cast right now. I'd have to think about it, but I'm sure I could find someone.
Mm-hmm.
It would have, since it's General Zod, it would have to be someone that has a beard and is very intimidating and imposing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it would be someone really good.
Yep. You guys got any ideas?
No, I don't.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be something good. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Save Zod for the third.
Movie.
Because then you develop the other villains. Like, I think Superman 2 would be a good opportunity to bring in Brainiac.
Yeah.
Because I want Brainiac to fight Superman first, and he can be a part of fighting the Justice League, but I think he should be established as Superman's enemy alone first. And then, even though you're going to have Superman films, I think you should have, like, either in the end of Superman 3, or if they do a fourth Superman, they should make the fourth Superman an event movie. And that's when you do the thing where the Snyderverse failed. You do a proper Death of Superman storyline, where you do a proper Doomsday fighting Superman.
Yeah.
But you do it when you've built up Superman, where we care enough about him. Instead of doing it in the second movie, you could wait for like 4 movies.
Yeah.
Since now again, or you can even do it at the end of the third movie if you want to. James Gunn's so good at fitting multiple characters in, he probably could have Zod and Doomsday in the same movie.
Yeah, you could.
Because he said something really brilliant about people complaining about how there are a lot of characters in Superman. And people were saying, how are you going to, with the 2-hour runtime, how are you going to give everyone their shine, right?
Yeah.
And he said, have you seen Oppenheimer? And I found that as an interesting answer, because there's a lot of, if you haven't watched Oppenheimer, there's a lot of characters in Oppenheimer, and everybody gets their story told.
Mm-hmm.
So that doesn't surprise me that he used that example. But it also makes me wonder, even though the trailers, like you said, this new trailer for Fantastic Four is good, I do have one really big concern with Fantastic Four.
What?
I heard that other than Galactus, I heard it has a lot of villains.
It has more than, yeah.
More than just Galactus and the female Silver Surfer. But I also heard that they just cut a villain. Apparently the movie is I don't know if it's a few minutes shorter or if it's a lot shorter. But apparently if you look at the updated runtime since the trailer came out, they sent a press release with the trailer and said in the previous trailers there's a character that appeared, and now the character apparently is not in the movie.
Oh, interesting.
John Malkovich's character was completely cut. Or his scenes were cut. But Stingray from Cobra Kai is still supposed to play Mole Man. And there's that weird creature that works for Mole Man, the like really bad CGI.
Oh yeah, that was in like the pizza commercial.
Yeah. There's one Galactus, Silver Surfer, and I think there might be one other villain. But it seems like a lot. So I should see what the updated runtime for Fantastic Four is. It's probably shorter than Superman.
Oh, I saw a post. Actually, out of the 3 films, Superman is the shortest by a couple of minutes.
But was that when the updated Fantastic Four runtime dropped?
I saw it today, so I'm pretty sure. I don't know if I can.
It was announced today that the runtime was shortened for Fantastic Four.
Because Superman's gonna be 2 hours and 9 minutes,
I think so.
and then
Updated Final Cut.
yeah, I don't know if I can find it again because it was just a random Instagram post that I saw.
I'll look at the Ridge Zoom. Really underground. I saw what you said. Is my recurrent suggestion about a new Superman Returns review good? When you finish your Superman Returns rewatch, can you do a mini review of what you think then versus now? Yes, but it won't come out till tomorrow, Brandon, because it is 3 a.m. But I will do it. I guess I'll review Superman Returns before I do my full ranking video. Since apparently I'm getting requests to review Superman Returns. I gotta say, after rewatching this movie, I think one of my first takes of this movie is, wow, Kevin Spacey's Lex. No wonder he may be a piece of shit human being.
Yeah, he played a good look.
Not that good of a Lex Luthor.
Oh,
Like, to be honest, and I don't know if this is an insult or if this is a good thing.
that he played a good.
He want to be Kingpin, but Kevin Spacey isn't half the actor that Vincent D'Onofrio is.
Oh yeah, no.
Like, so it's like it's kind of an insult to Kingpin, but like the vibe he gives me is he kind of wants to be Kingpin, but he can't.
Yeah.
And it's not even justice. Like, Kevin Spacey can be a good actor at times. I think he was miscast for this role. Or the writing just doesn't support him being a good Lex Luthor. Then again, I don't really remember thinking that highly of this Lex Luthor version when I was a kid either. So even back when I didn't really think that hard about things, I just don't find it that interesting. Like, he didn't really do much except for have thugs beat up Superman and stab him with kryptonite. And to me, Lex Luthor is smarter than that.
Oh my. Oh wait. Maybe a character about Superman. Maybe I'm gonna butcher his name, but you know that little magic guy that has a heart that nobody can pronounce his name?
Mr. Pitalik?
Yeah.
I've heard rumors that people teased him. I wonder if
apparently Nathan Fillion teases the DCU that guy because he's a Superman character. I mean, he's
tabs on what his actors say and can't say. Maybe that's a character that James Gunn's okay with them teasing. I don't know. I wonder who would play him. He's very interesting. Ooh,
I would say Rhys Darby.
That's Michael Rosenbaum's secret role.
Oh, maybe.
Interesting. Even though it hasn't been seen in the trailers, my theory for Michael Rosenbaum's cameo was that we'd see Lex's dad in this movie. Because I think it would be interesting, just like Smallville, to go full circle and have Rosenbaum play Lex's dad since he was Lex Luthor. And Rosenbaum and Holt know each other. Like, they've done podcasts together. Both Lex Luthors. They already have good chemistry. Because Lex doesn't like his dad.
No.
So I would not be surprised. But I do like the Mr. Pitalik thing. And like I said, if they are going to set up a Superman 2, even if there's been no leaks about it, James Gunn's smart and he can hide certain things. There is a 50% chance that we could get Brainiac in this film. At least
Okay.
because James Gunn said something a long time ago that Brainiac would be teased throughout this movie, but they didn't confirm we would see him. So if we saw him, imagine he was actually secretly cast as Michael Rosenbaum. Because
Mhm.
good history playing on one of the most iconic versions of Lex. So he probably could be a good Brainiac.
Yeah, probably could be.
So I'd honestly be stoked if we saw Brainiac or even hinted at Brainiac in this movie. Because as Superman fans, Brainiac's the one villain in live action they have never been able to give us.
Mm-hmm.
Like out of all Superman villains, we've seen Zod, we've seen Lex Luthor many times. I think I don't know if we've seen it in the movie, but I know in TV shows we've seen Metallo.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, in movies, well, it's been bad iterations. We have seen Doomsday in bad iterations and good adaptations as well.
Yes. That's true. Okay, well, since it's late and we finished the movie.
Yeah, I have a couple minutes left, but you're good to go whenever you want.
Yeah, okay. Good.
Good night. They fly now.
Yeah, I'm gonna head out too.
All right, see you guys. I'm just about finishing. I'm going to end the stream. Thanks for being here, guys. Oh, you think is Brainiac?